Alright, ladies and gents, as ever, my name is Shane, that's Shane's Games, and tonight we're going to be playing Nier Replicant for the PC. This won't be our first time playing it, so if you want to see how we got to where we are tonight, or check out some of the games I've played in the past, be them obscure, unusual, or nostalgic, feel free to check out my YouTube channel. But for tonight, let's go ahead and get into the game. So yesterday we got ending A, as you can see on the save file right there. And we are now starting on Route B, which means basically we're restarting from the halfway point of the game, but now we're getting a whole bunch of new cinematics to expand on events of the game. And so far what we've been doing is we've been learning a lot about our foul-mouthed companion, Kaine, who all we really knew about her before was she was a woman who is ostracized from her village and is possessed by a shade. Now we're learning tons more about this, and I'm very interested in that. Now, if you've been here before, one thing I've been talking about is to get all of the endings. One of the things we need to do is we need to get all of the weapons in the game. And we are doing fantastic along those lines. However, for the B route, there is one single solitary side quest we are going to need to do to continue on the road to getting all the weapons. And that involves something in our character's house here. We go in here and there's a new interaction point right here. I think this is it.
What might that be?
It's Mom's diary.
I've not heard you speak much about your mother.
She got the Black Scrawl and died when I was little.
My apologies for bringing it up.
It's all right. I can barely remember her face anymore. This is the only thing I have left of her. Reading it helps remind me of when we were still a family.
I see.
But the final entries get a little strange.
In what way?
Well, here. Take a look.
Oh, that's a cute loading screen right there.
Say there. Can you not hear me?
Alright, so you'll notice we're also...
Why are you standing about like a slack-jawed ninny?
Sorry. Felt like I was dreaming or something.
Sleeping on one's feet is quite the talent indeed. Come now, there's the door.
Right. Let's go.
So, a couple points of order, first of all. First of all, yes, we are suddenly playing as Papa Nier from the original North American version of Nier on PS3 and 360. For reasons, I guess. So you'll notice he looks different and he sounds different. This is the guy who was in the original Nier you would have played if you played it in North America. Also, this section of the game was originally DLC in the PS3 and 360 version, but it's been included automatically in the PC version. And it is mandatory to get the weapons from this to count for 100% weapon completion. So that's what we're doing here. Yeah, Ward, it's really interesting, and I don't know that I've seen any other games do that outside of Yoko Taro's catalog, but I'm here for it. Let's see. Proceed beyond this point, and you will be unable to save until the battle is over. Do you want to go through the door? Sure. If you did this in the PS3 version, you'd be playing with Brother Nier? Seriously? That's so weird. This is the world of the recycled vessel, created to avoid the destruction of all. Whatever that means. Oh, those bats are enemies. This music's kind of nice. Very different from everything we've heard so far in Nier, but I kind of like it. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Zone of the Enders, which you know I'm all about. Alright, so all we have to do in here is basically just fight our way to the end. It is kind of a challenge room type DLC. So we get to the end and we're good. Luckily we don't have to do all of the challenge rooms right now, but I figured we may as well at least try the first challenge room. See how challenging it truly is. And see if maybe we could finish at least the first one for right now. That'd be nice. See you get behind me. So far, so good. Just some small fries. I'm just loving this music. Couple guys get stuck on the rubble there. Rude. How deep does this thing go? Oh, but we got a shooter down there. Yeah, we got all of them. I've been taking any damage so far, that's good. Since we don't have a meal around, we can't heal without using items. Which, you know, while medicinal herbs are plentiful, we still want to be careful if we can. Ooh. Let's see, I don't remember this track being on the album. It's a good remix, though. I'm liking it a lot. It says there's a boss? Whoa, jeez. What the heck was that? Take out the bats. Where's the boss? Still a couple of bats. Also, jeez, alright. Should I jump down? Sure, let's jump down. Whoa! There he is! How tough is he? Whoop! Oh! Oh, he's not bad at all, holy crap. Yeah, he was nothing. Alright, cool. Let's see. So my retro tint came in, works really well from the single test I did. Oh, that's exciting. You'll have to let me know once you run it through some more tests, but I hope you enjoy it. Literally hit the boss under the stairs. Clever, that bastard. I asked Devil of Hooch tastes good, said it's the best thing in the world. Oh god, Devil of why? The Black Scrawl, a lost destiny, a white book, a false truth. Alright, we are still going. Enemies still aren't too terrible, but this filter that they're using is super weird. Alright, take these guys out. Lock on, come on! Sounds like we got another remix here, too. Oop. These guys... Oh, jeez. Alright, I think I got everybody there. Got some more medicinal herbs. I may as well use one since I seem to be getting them. Soldiers of Salt calling forth white death. They are legion. Think about being plunged into darkness. Oh, jeez. All of this music is incredible! All of this music is absolutely top tier. Oh jeez, I took a bunch of damage there. Did not roll correctly there, that could have went better. Those guys out nice and quick. If I can take them out before they can start shooting, that'd be very nice. There we go. Now, these guys, of course, have anti-magic shields, so no more of those shenanigans. Those guys. Getting a little scary in here. Lock on. Alright, got that guy. Lock on is working very inconsistently, probably because these guys keep teleporting around. I can't even tell if I'm killing these guys. I hope I am. But it's difficult to say. Medicine worm. Alright, we're good there. Alright, we got the Fool's Embrace. I don't think I'm saved yet, so I'm not going to mark it off my list just yet. Let's see. So for the single test they did was running my PS2 through it. No input latency. Nice, nice. Yeah, John, this does sound kind of Tool-y, doesn't it? I could see this on Tool-y. And just like the Tool-y soundtrack, I'm loving this. This is fantastic. Alright, got some more medicinal herbs. Got that sword, if we can keep it. The dragon's corpse brought death to the world, delivering unto it the power of magic. Alright, got some more small fries. I can use my magic again. There you go, that's nice. Lock on. Oh, that's a lot. There we go. Excellent. Whoa! Not expecting that. I could barely see him in this weird darkness. Oop. Gotta remember to roll towards him a little bit when I roll. There we go. Basically roll through the damage. Oh, a little too early there. Ooh. Alright, let's finish him off with stabbing. Unless he wants to pull that. There we go. Alright, got some more medicinal herbs. The black sickness stains the future. The journey to return to soulless vessels. Oh, we're in side-scroller mode now. Interesting. Alright, then we're dropping medicinal herbs, so I'll go ahead and use one. Oh god, really? We're doing platforming? Why? What have I done to deserve this? Who's shooting? There we go. It's your favorite! I didn't ask for this! If I would have known, I would have asked specifically to not get this. Oh, God. Alright. That's what he did there. Lots of medicinal herbs, but I'm still at full health. Alright! We can do this. These dudes out. Stabbing. There we go. Nope, he's still kicking. There we go. game up big and strong. You need to cross those platforms, but I don't wanna. Hey, Chris Technician, welcome in. How are you doing today? Alright. No! Oh, and I lose some progress when that happens too. Wonderful. Nope, damn it! I'm doing alright. They're making me do platforming stuff, but other than that, I'm okay. No, no, no! Oh, god damn it. I saved it, and then I unsaved it. Alright. Whew, that was close. No! I thought I was going to be so clever and skip one of the platforms. Oh, I guess I ended up here at least. Oh, jeez, Duck Melvin. Get him! Get him! Psychopass is getting a movie? That's interesting. Oh, damn it. What's the dinner report? I had, mac and cheese. Mac and cheese with shrimp, which I very much love. Dang it. How do I get this one? There we go. Ooh. Oh, Jesus! No, come on! Oh my god, really? And now, of course, I have to fight this guy at close range. We got him, though. Whew. It is. I like it a lot. Obtained the Kabuki outfit. You earned 1,000 experience. Whew. Just like my 2D Castlevanias, kinda, I mean. 10 years? I would not have guessed it was that long, though. Alright, now the question is, how do I leave? Because I would like to leave. Yeah, there we go. So I don't want to do, there's 3 challenge stages basically. I'll come back, I'll do them staggered. Because I believe they get significantly more difficult. So I'm like, let's pick up a couple levels if we can. And then we'll see if we can come back later. Do some more. How do you feel about slaughtering all those shades now that you know what they are? I mean, it was still an us or them situation. So it's
My word.
It's horrifying, but, you know, what are we gonna do? Yeah, seriously, Dark Belvin, what the hell? I hate spiders.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Alright, so, to double check, we'll go with weapons, one-handed. Fool's Embrace, there we go. So, that is another weapon to cross off the list. We only have 3 weapons left to get before we have 100% completion. I did get an awful lot of school books. I hadn't thought about it that way, but... Oh, that's uncomfy. That is very uncomfy. Oh, Yoko Tyro, why you be like this? Yeah, a very unpleasant dream where the game made me do platforming. Roxanna, how are you doing today? Hope you are doing well. Alright, there we go. Oh hey, let's go talk to Devila, our friend Devila.
Hey,
Oh, hi. I kinda thought you'd never talk to us again.
I understand you're doing this for the village, and that you don't have a choice.
Pretty much, yeah. But look, why don't you go talk to Popola? I think she wanted to discuss the Shadow Lord with you.
I'm headed there next. Oh, and Devila,
Yeah?
sorry about yesterday. I shouldn't have lost my temper like that.
You don't need to apologize. Anyone would be upset when their friends are hurting. Let Emil and Kaine know that we're sorry, alright?
All right.
Don't apologize, let him into the damn village. Let's see. I have not seen the new folds, but also I have yet to see a compelling reason to get a folding phone. They are a very cool technology, but I'm like, what's in it for me? What does it do for me that my current phone doesn't? That's what I need. I need a good use case before I'd ever consider getting one of them. Let's see. No, shenanigans. So what happened is we restarted from the middle of the game. And what just happened is we just rescued Kaine from Stone. And then, as in the previous playthrough, Devil and Popola said that Kaine and Emil need to sleep outside the village because they're scary. So that's why we're pissed at them. This is basically just what happened in the A timeline as well. They made him sleep outside and we weren't talking to him for a little bit.
What is the purpose of this place?
Beats me. Maybe it's Popola's hobby corner.
Oh, I was interested if there'd be any more things filled in. There was one segment we never saw filled in before, which is kind of interesting. Once had a house spider rappel down a light fixture in the hall once, was not a fan. Oh god, I hate that. When you get spiders coming down on you, that's the worst. I mean, spiders are nice, but they need to stay out of my line of sight. I don't want to have to think about them. That's all I ask. Don't make me think about you.
Popola?
Oh, hello.
Look, I want to apologize for
Stop. You didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah, but neither did you. You're just trying to protect the villagers. And I jumped down your throat for it.
It's very kind of you to say so. Regardless, please don't let it trouble you.
Ahem. I believe there was something you wished to discuss with us.
Oh, right. Yes, about that. You know about the lost shrine, right?
The temple where I was first discovered.
That's it. Well, it seems that the Shadow Lord's lair is connected to it somehow.
Oh ho. It was right under our pages the whole time.
But the bridge that leads there is unusable.
So take a boat.
A boat?
Yes. The canal's finally been repaired. It took a lot longer than expected, what with the shades and all. I also asked them to provide a boat at the path to the Lost Shrine's back entrance. The ferryman will let you use it free of charge. That should make it easier for you to move from town to town.
Thanks, Popola. I feel like you've done so much for me. I'm really grateful. All right, I'll see you around.
And for the love of everything, be careful.
Let's see. Owlboy developer announces 4-player action game Vikings on Trampolines. It's a heck of a name. Owlboy was an amazing, amazing game. So I will be eager to see what they do next. Anybody else in here played Owlboy? I didn't actually play it, I watched it streamed. I'd love to play it one day, though.
The path above the entrance to the shopping district should lead to the boat landing.
Ooh, got a physical copy.
Excellent to know the canal is finished. Hopefully this puts our days of running all over behind us.
The faster we can move, the faster we can save Yona. Let's use it as often as we need.
Let's. Especially because we are going to be trying to speed things up this time around. No need for a bunch of side quests or exploring. We already know what's out there.
Hey, look who it is! Remember me?
Yes.
That red bag. My pages. You're the slovenly half of that couple who refused to stop arguing.
Hey, it's been a while.
Sure has. I've been in charge of this canal since we last talked. Apparently I did a pretty good job with it because they decided to make me the permanent ferryman.
Oh yeah, huh? Congrats.
Thanks. Still, it's not all puppies and unicorns. The old ball and chain is always harping on me now about how much I work. Anyway, if you got a place to be, just let me know and I'll take you there.
Let's see. Seeking Chivalry, welcome in. Not a fan. That's fair. That's fair. Which version of Windows is your favorite? Oh, God. See, most of the Windows operating systems I've used have had some sort of charms to them.
The Lost Shrine's up ahead, just past this cave.
Like right now, I really like Windows 7, but I wouldn't actually recommend someone to use Windows 7 because it's out of support. And once a Windows operating system falls out of support, you're in a lot of danger because you're not getting security fixes anymore.
As well as the Shadow Lord's castle.
Let us make haste.
And right now I'm using Windows 10. But the main reason I haven't upgraded is because I have to use so much old software that it is usually more handy to just make sure that it runs than actually having a more updated operating system. This didn't happen before. Hang on a second. Hang on. What do you want? Go away, dirty, defective swine. I'm not like you. I'm different. So we get to hear the shadows talking now? That's interesting. OS2 warp, Jesus. 3.1, oh no. Yeah, honestly, I had a lot of fun with XP back in the day. I liked XP a lot. But I definitely wouldn't enjoy going back to it, I don't suspect. Drav, welcome in. How are you doing today, Drav? Hope all is well with you. Alright, so that's another new feature we didn't have before. Alright. Let's see if we get more dialogue when we actually get to the boss proper then. Yeah, I love the old Windows boot up sounds. Those made me so happy. The Shade Whisperer. That's actually kind of a cool name for like a D&D character. I'm gonna roll an assassin and name him Shade Whisperer. Because that sounds super badass. Ah, Hansel was the one guarding it in part 1, so the one guarding it in part 2 is Gretel. Interesting. Yeah, basically between Windows 10 and Windows 11, it's going to run differently on different hardware. But right now I'm happy with 10, but once it starts getting near end of life, I'll definitely switch over to 11. Whew, yeah, that is a long time, Doc Belsman. Hopefully the writing is still good, though. But yeah, I can see that feeling a little bit tedious. Next rogue is going to be Anastasia Stranger. Who stole the stuff? A stranger. I love it. It's amazing. You again. Stop bothering me. Grimoire Vice has been taken away. Hansel is dead. There's no reason for me to exist anymore. My life is over. Just leave me alone. What? So the big shadow can understand the small shadows, but we can't. That's interesting. Is your PC compatible with Windows 11? Honestly, I have not checked.
Ain't you excited, sunshine? We finally get to bathe in blood.
Don't talk to me.
I want to kill so bad I can barely stand it.
But for anybody who missed it yesterday, Tyran is the shadow that's possessing Kaine. So we're basically hearing her internal monologue now. That's interesting. Brooks. Shane, Tyran, Shane. We met him yesterday in the flashbacks. Sort of. It's the first time we've actually heard him speak in the sequence, though. That's interesting. Oh, jeez. Is this music different? I'm not sure. I recognize the chorus is the same. Can we insult the Shades now? We probably shouldn't now. Now that we know their true nature. Might be rude. No. Ooh, nice knockdown. Alright. So thankfully all the strategies we learned last time are serving us very well, especially since we're significantly stronger than we were last time. That's a good thing. What is their true nature? Alright, so this is some sort of scheme for immortality. What happens is the Shades are like the souls of actual humans, whereas all of the actual humans that we met in the game, like our character or Kaine or Emil or literally any character we met, are actually just sort of like shells that were created to be brand new bodies for the actual humans who all are slowly turned into Shades. It's a lot, I understand. But that's basically where we're at. And yeah, that's appears to be the reason why some of the little Shades are dropping school books, which is very upsetting. Can we get out now? We cannot. Push that right there. Also, I mentioned yesterday there used to be a box.
This is all too easy.
I mentioned yesterday there used to be a box pushing puzzle in the tower. You're seeing that now. And it is all too easy. You guys are chumps. Yeah, I don't fully understand why some of the Shades look different than others, but hopefully we're going to get some more context as we move through this. God, you realize that was 6 years ago now, Trav? How weird is that? Time is terrifying. We'll get up there, so hit this way. I'm skipping all the optional areas in the tower now because, number one, we don't really need a bunch more of, medicinal herbs. And number two, you know, let's just get this done. Let's just get this done. See, that's what I thought you were talking about, is the Thieves Guild. It's so long ago. Pull this over here. 5 years, 11 months, 11 days. I'm still planning to do a 6-year anniversary stream. I've just been massively delayed, so I apologize for that. But it is still coming. I'm hoping to do it another week or two, but I've been very much delayed in working on it. So continue to look out for news. Hopefully I'll have some for you soon. Oh, the Sand People in KOTOR. Shit, I forgot about that. That's true. That did happen as well. BioWare does like giving you options to do horrible things. Let's see. Have I ever used Mac OS? Not in a very, very long time. Did Shane just tell me to turn back?
What's with these guys?
Certainly not your garden variety, Shades.
Their bodies aren't fully functional.
Say, I've heard of this. A cursed area where incomplete shades gather.
Incomplete shades, interesting. We don't know why or how they're incomplete, but apparently that's a thing. I like the extra dialogue too, that's really nice. Bam, knock it down, finisher. I'm extremely thankful for the fact that you're invincible during finisher sequences. That is very handy. I should have finished him while he was down. Yep. An email from an employer telling me their pay rate and asking me if their hours are okay. Oh, that is so frustrating, LTG. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, can you believe it? Like, anytime I see times, like, people punch in their follow age, I'm like, it can't possibly be that long. That's insane. That's so long. Like, think about the fact that I've been streaming for 6 years now. Like, compare that to anything, basically. Compare it to the longest you've ever held a job for. Compare it to the longest you've ever been in a relationship for. 6 years is so long. Wow. Oh no, Allie Lordswood. Did they screw you? What happened? It's an annoying journey, it's a frustrating journey, but if you keep with it, there is very likely a happy ending at the end. This I believe. Yeah, I really wish they'd give you more context for those decisions. Like, okay, I'm not a good fit, you're not hiring me. Why? Give me something here. Make my time having applied worth it. I'm a Twitch senior now. I think what makes it strangest for me is when I first started out on Twitch, all the people I knew that I considered like lifers, long timers, had been on Twitch for about 3.5 years. So the fact that I've now doubled that is nuts to me. Let's see. Let's see. Didn't get any hours. Did I manage to check within an hour of signing up? That's really weird. Oh wait, Allie Lordswood, your notification there. Hang on, let me take a look. Yeah, didn't give me any hours there. That's weird. 3 years already. Almost 4 years though, Allie Lordswood. That is way longer than I would have expected. That's wild. That would be interesting if you just were right on the hour though. It's possible. It's possible. But yeah, that's the way I always look at it when I don't get a job either, is, you know, you gotta figure if they didn't think you were the right fit, then you probably weren't the right fit, and that means even if you had been given the job, it would have been not something you would have enjoyed, not something they would have enjoyed you at, so while it's frustrating, it is probably still for the best. Alright. I'm curious how plausible it's going to be for me to actually get more levels at this point. I mean, obviously I'm way stronger than most of the dudes I'm fighting here, but am I getting any significant XP from these guys? I don't know. Kill him. See, I know it shows I need 10,000 XP to get to the next level, so that's a lot. I like that Kaine can knock down enemies consistently, though. That's really nice. Ah, gotcha, Chris. That is a whole different set of frustrating. I'm sorry to hear that. Oop. Oh, there's a lot of dudes in here. See if we can get finishers on the big guys as quickly as possible. There we go. See, I mentioned before, one of the weird things with knockdowns in this game is once I spike them like that, if I hit them once, it knocks them down on the ground. If I hit them a second time, it picks them back up again. Which is very weird to me. Alright, so that gave me 1500 XP. So yeah, we're getting some XP in here. That's not a bad thing. You're the high-level character in the newbie area. I like doing that too. And Tarek Silver, welcome in. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Ooh, excellent LTG. That could be nice. Getting a little cash that way. Fingers crossed for you. I killed that guy in 4 hits. Speaking of me being the high-level character in the low-level area. I killed that guy in 4 hits. Beautiful. How's the weather here? Not bad, but still continuing to be too hot. It really needs to cool down. This is brutal. It's not like dangerously hot. We're not up around the hundreds anymore, but it's still just uncomfortably warm. I've treated you all poorly. I mocked you, betrayed you, all because you went Gestalt before the change was complete. But after all this, I think I can understand you. I think we can speak as equals. This makes me very happy. I hope we can spend the rest of our lives. What was that? So when he says going Gestalt, I wonder if that means that's what happens when they go feral, like most of the shades we've seen there. Whew, Doc Belvin, that sounds nice.
Kaine, Emile, look, from now on, I'm going to sleep outside with you.
Why?
I can't accept that you aren't allowed in the village. It's stupid.
So you're staging a protest? Fun!
Don't waste your time.
But it just feels wrong.
Well, that's really nice of you, but you still don't have to stay out here with us.
Emile.
You got a super important mission. You can't sleep out in the rain. What if you catch a cold? Besides, I like camping with Kaine. Sometimes we sit around the fire and tell stories, or roast...
Emile, that's enough. I got a fucking image to maintain.
Emile, once again, you have a mansion. You literally never need to sleep on the ground because you own a mansion. Take Kaine and go to your mansion. Very simple. Very simple. Alright.
We seem to be surrounded by a mob of helpless puppies.
Just kick them aside.
Did you just make a puppy kicking joke? It is kind of interesting that Vice appears to be commenting on the fact that we're so much stronger than the enemies now. It's not portable, but it's also not super far from the village, I don't think. Today's high is supposed to be 90 Fahrenheit. It's currently 94. It's noon. Oh, geez, Rin. Stay cool. Do what you gotta to stay cool. It's brutal. Hopefully warded. I'll keep my fingers crossed for you. Ah, jeez. Stay safe, LTG. Don't you touch them!
What's going on? There's dozens of them!
Stop, little ones! They're too
These
strong
are
for you!
creatures of the darkness. Lure them to the light. Pathetic to the end, I see.
Aim for that statue. It's the leader.
I am not their leader. It is I who rely on them. Stop hurting my friends.
Oh, you're funny. I'm gonna start crying here.
Come on. Ooh. There we go.
Have you felled the beast?
Those are my friends.
This is one stubborn son of a bitch.
Damn it, damn it, damn it!
Hey there, Sunshine. You ain't feeling bad for this freak, are ya? Ain't no turning back now. You gotta lust for blood. Embrace the slaughter. All we know is the thrill of battle. Ain't that right, Kaine?
Alright, that happened.
Kaine!
Oh, you're kidding me!
Kaine!
Move! Come on, you stupid arm, move! We're incomplete, but our friends make us whole. Well, that was sadder than the first time we did that.
Kaine! Are you alright? Kaine!
I fear there is little we can do for her.
No! Kaine!
What is happening?
It's all over for you, Sunshine.
Kaine! Kaine! It's Shade!
Yeah, it is.
No other choice. We must strike it down.
Kaine! Come back!
Well, that was quick. You stopped the Berserk
dear.
Kaine within 1 minute. Nice, I got a Chivo for that. Man, that Fix-A-Flat works a treat. Very nice, very nice. Let's see. All right, let me catch up with chat here. So Kaine has been able to hear what they've been saying all this time through Tyron translating, apparently, and I believe right now, it's only Kaine hearing these voices. Our character and email are not hearing these, I don't believe. And last time we played, we weren't able to hear Tyron's voice either, so that's completely new too. This is just a flesh wound. Yeah, I like how they're like, are you alright? No, she's clearly not.
Kaine! Kaine!
Keep saying her name twice, that'll bring her back.
Kaine!
Like Tinkerbell.
I couldn't hold it back. I can't be with...
We're always going to be together, Kaine. If you transform again, we'll just stop it again. As many times as it takes. I don't care how tough it is. We're gonna get you back. I like sleeping outside because I'm with you, Kaine. I'm able to ignore my appearance and keep going because of you. I'm weak, and I'm sad, and I'm lonely. But you make me strong. You're my friend, and I need you. So don't you dare leave me.
All right. Stop crying.
I just wanted to point out, though, I held up my hand right there because that one conversation in the game, Emo's text is auto-advancing. He's rambling on so I don't actually press the button. He just keeps going and going. Change this recommendation for any future bosses, let them talk out before murder because you were severely OP. I actually read LTG that if the bosses are talking, they often have extra armor. Extra damage resistance while they are speaking, specifically to prevent me from murdering them and missing any dialogue, which is kind of nice.
And thanks. I'm all right.
Over there.
And no scar! That's the power of Flex Seal.
And what is this,
Beats me. It's got some kind of writing on it, but I don't know what it says.
How remarkably useless of you. Well, let's go ask Popola.
Alright, there's the first stone fragment. I think you can still potentially kill them too fast, it's much more difficult.
It's a cipher of some kind.
Can you determine its meaning?
I think this is the key to unlocking the Shadow Lord's castle. Here, take a look at this. I wrote down all the words I can understand. This fragment is called the Stone Guardian. Given that you found it in the Lost Shrine, the words must mean something. There are spaces here for 4 other fragments as well. Sacrifice, the Law of Robotics, the Memory Tree, Loyal Cerberus. The Law of Robotics probably refers to the Junk Heap, and the Memory Tree might be the Forest of Myth. But as for Sacrifice and Loyal Cerberus, I don't have a clue.
Not a problem.
Hmm?
If we want to fill in the words, we just run around the world killing every big monster we find, right?
Oh, splendid. By all means, let us undertake a murderous rampage.
They're just shades. Besides, it's the only way to reach the Shadow Lord.
It's a dangerous task.
Yeah, well, Yona's in even more danger.
But how can you even be sure that she's...
Because she is! Right? The Junk Heap and the Forest of Myth, yeah? I'm on my way.
Please be careful.
Of course.
Oh, and listen. About Kaine and Emil.
Of course he doesn't know that right now, but we do. Drink more Ovaltine? That's amazing. I don't know if I've mentioned it on here before, but I actually grew up near an Ovaltine factory. And are you wondering if it smelled like chocolate? Yes, it did. And it was amazing. Shady business. I love it.
The villagers know how much they've sacrificed, and they're thankful. It's just... they're scared, you know? People can't change overnight. I'll hurry them along the best I can. But can you please give them a little more time?
I'll try.
It's not me that needs to give time, it's them. A KFC and you can't avoid the smell. See, I would imagine like a KFC would get irritating over time at least. Oh, can we have chocolate? We have chocolate at home. I mean, we didn't have it at home, but it was at home. Alright, this time let's start with the Forest of Myth. We know that's a quick one.
Popola said we might be able to find something in the Forest of Myth.
You will forgive me if I seem less than enthusiastic about such a trip.
We have chocolate air at home. I did miss that. That is amazing. If anything, it was the other way around. Is every time I'd smell chocolate on the air, I'd be like, oh my god, I need chocolate now. Now the cravings have begun. You would think that, but no LTG. It is pretty delicious. This much is true. Alright, so we already got the first stone fragment. That's excellent. And it looks like they front-loaded a lot of the new content, but still, getting to hear Kaine's shade and getting to hear the boss shades talking is very cool. I'm liking that. Oh, the boars? I'm hoping so, because we did tame one of them. I'm hoping he's still tamed. He is! Hey, buddy. Let's ride. And we can run over shades, which is beautiful. That's a time saver. Yeah, baby! Every time. Every time. It's normal driving style. Running enemies over? Definitely. Oh yeah, I keep forgetting I have
The
drift.
home of that blasted dream.
Yeah,
Truly a nightmare I hope never to experience again.
I hear you.
I will say, though, I think probably the thing that would drive me the most insane is in the city proper, there is a Toronto factory, which is a factory that makes French bread. And even when you drive past it, just you can smell fresh baking bread, and it is the most amazing smell you have ever smelled. And I'm like, if you live there, like near there, and you're just smelling fresh baking bread every day, like, oh, I'd die. I'd need it. It's so good. Like, literally for a block in every direction, you can just smell warm, fresh bread. It's incredible. Jedi Master Grogu, welcome in. How are you doing today? Alright. I don't remember if there's actually anything interesting around here. It's so weird that some of the crafting materials that I needed in the junkyard are stuff that I've never seen ever before. I'm very confused about that. That's why I'm trying to break some boxes here. I'm like, could some of them just be like hanging around? Why did I miss some? Sleepy, well, if you need to get some rest, you go right ahead, but I appreciate you stopping by.
Oh, hello. How are things? You want to know if anything unusual is happening? Well, I have been feeling a rather strange presence whenever I visit the Divine Tree.
The Divine Tree?
It's a legendary tree that exists in the heart of our village.
Did you investigate the cause of this presence?
Not really, no.
And why not?
Well, we're not really supposed to go near the tree, except for prayer.
And why is that?
I don't know. It's just how things have always been.
Weird.
Yeah, this village is super weird. I have no idea what daily life is like around this place. Cannot even begin to imagine.
We are the grass, the trees, the woods.
This part was super weird.
Why do we seem to encounter nothing but odd people lately?
You should talk, Vice.
As if Grimoire Weiss is capable of spouting such nonsense.
Hang on. I don't think it's done.
Is the dark entity that governs all memories. May the words form themselves to your liking.
Does that mean it'll tell us what we want to know? That'd be nice.
I'm curious if this is going to be any different. We'll have to see. Black, pure darkness, painted over everything. Words scattered here and there across the blackness. Kind words, difficult words, amorous words, all sparkling in the dark like jewels. The words were few now, but time was shorter. Grabbing the words in desperation, the tree turned to the sky. "This is wrong," whispered the tree, like in the voice of the wind through the leaves. "This is not how it was supposed to be. The plan has failed." Once long ago, the tree had remembered everything about the world. That was its task, its function, its purpose. It shivered with something approaching joy as it collected the memories of mankind. This is no accident. Emotions were as much a part of the tree as root and bark. Memories collected like dew on the thick green leaves of the tree. And once they had formed a web that spanned the entire world, words collapsed into sunlight before passing through the leaves and into the pool of memory. From the pool, the words joined together to form colonies. Colonies united into whirlpools of light, and the light coalesced into stars. Each star was like a child of a tree, and it loved them all. Look at my memory. A child is here, brought low by disease. He is far too young to have suffered so. Thin beyond words, the boy's skin is a shade paler than the bleached sheets upon which he lies. His parents no longer visit him, for they cannot bear to watch him suffer. The doctors have long since surrendered his fate to the gods. The boy, too, has abandoned hope. Strange emotions, weariness, hatred, swell within the dark recesses of his young heart. He tries to reject the black terror that germinates in his body, but no amount of effort or tears can drive the invader away. He has long ceased to resent his parents and doctors. Once he did, but now his pain is so great that there is little room in his heart to think of others. Only one person brings the boy comfort, a healthy young girl with tan skin and deep green eyes. She is a beacon of brightness and light in the boy's world. Her very presence is a comfort to him. But he is unable to look upon her face. Whenever they meet, the boy is filled with loathing for his own state. Soon this loathing eats away at what joy he receives from the girl's visits. The girl will stop coming, he knows this. His every waking moment is spent in fear of this day. He thinks that if he could talk to her, or if he could tell her of his feelings, this might not be so, but this conversation never happens. The girl disappears. The boy dies alone. The tree scoops up this memory and carefully stores it within itself. Etched upon it is a single word: envy. Look at my memory. There is a female warrior. Her greatest enemy is a beast with red eyes that she cannot fully comprehend. When she strikes it with its sword, it turns into a pillar of salt and dies. But when the white smoke clears, a new enemy arises, and another, and another. The warrior knows that her struggle is folly, but fighting the unending stream of enemies fills her with a sense of joy and purpose. Somewhere deep in the warrior's drug-addled mind lies a vague memory of a daughter. Perhaps the child exists only in her head, the dying remnants of a powerful dream. She does not know. Her friends and fellow warriors are all come and go. Some flee in terror, some are eaten. She began the fight with 63 companions, but most are gone now. The warrior's body shudders. It She does not understand why at first. By the time she hears the fierce, low sound, the arena is already enclosed in darkness. Looking up, the warrior sees a beast so large that it blots out the sky. She is laughing. She's been doing so for as long as she can remember. Covered in blood and dirt, the warrior laughs. He laughs and laughs until the town that contains her daughter collapses into a pile of dust. This memory has been stored for a long time. It is etched with a single word: loss. Look at my memory. A red dragon falls from the heavens. Ah, that memory has been lost. A shame. It was a favorite of mine. After many centuries of existence, the tree saw that its carefully labeled memories were beginning to dwindle. Once seemingly infinite, the memories now seemed ready to disappear forever. The tree did not feel sadness at this. Grief was an emotion beyond its comprehension. It did, however, have the distinct feeling that something was missing. The mountain of memories it had so carefully assembled had disappeared. The tree stretched its branches out as far as it could, but new memories refused to flow. The pool of memories was a black, empty pit, a hollow place where life had once flourished. The tree had lost its purpose. There was nothing to be done but sift through the few remaining memories littering the ground under its branches. This is why the tree was pleased when the young man and his companion entered the room. "Well, this place is gloomy as hell." The room Max had entered was almost completely empty. All he could see were a few crystals scattered haphazardly on the ground. Picking up one of the crystals and peering into it, Max suddenly saw a familiar sight. It was the Forest of Myth, its villagers prisoners of their own dreams. "I apologize," the tree thought. "That is all that remains." As Max stared at the jewel, bewildered, a voice suddenly called out from the depths of his mind. The voice implored them to listen. It was an order. Following it was mandatory. Abruptly, the pair realized that they must listen. They must listen. "Look there." A small, shadowy presence appeared from beneath the floor. It appeared to be a shade. The shade grasped several jewels in its hand. More jewels tumbled out of its mouth like shards of broken teeth, sights and sounds tinkling from each one before vanishing forever. The creature was abusing the memories, treating the precious objects like a collection of cheap playroom toys. The shade appears to be consuming memories. These things eat memories? The tree extended a branch towards Max. Without a second thought, Max brought his blade down on the shade, carrying its stomach wide. Jewels burst from the shade and poured across the chamber floor. "Look," thought the tree, "there is the conviction memory I had lost, and satisfaction, and many others as well. Yes, this is good." The tree opened its mouth and attempted to speak, but no sound emerged. A millennium of silence and solitude caused the tree to forget certain things, but rather than be upset, it greeted the development with good cheer. Focusing all of its powers on the riddle of speech, the tree formed a kind of makeshift vocal cord and tried again. I implore... Spat out a glimmering green jewel. One more time. "I implore you." There we are. What was the color of the lost envy? Alright, so last time the girl's eyes were brown, but this time her eyes were green. It spoke. This shade has intelligence and emotion. Who cares? Max brushed Vice's comment aside as his sword sliced through the shade's right arm. The shade extended its remaining arm to Max. "I must touch him. I must make contact." The moment its fingers brushed against Max, the tree felt a warm sensation beginning to burn. Something hot coursed through its fingers, up its arm, and out to its entire body. It was emotion more than the entity it felt in centuries. The tree cried out in surprise and joy. 1,000 years alone, 1,000 years in quiet contemplation. The tree felt like it was going to break apart. For long centuries the tree had been alone, its heart sealed with heavy chains, but no more. New powerful emotions began to take hold, causing its heart to lighten. This is more than the simple emotions it had been designed to feel. It was the beginnings of the soul. And the young man was the key. This was the promise made long ago. This was how it would be released. The tree's stomach began to throb in pain, a new and unpleasant sensation. But the time was not yet right. "I implore you, how many were lost by the warrior who fought the red-eyed beasts?" The last time it was 33, but this time it's 63. Okay, riddle time is over. I'm gonna kill this stupid shade once and for all. Something round and shiny fell from the open stomach and clattered to the floor. The key! Cried the book. Secure the key! The man's sword slowed. Time began to dilate around them, stretching and slowing. Time is essential. The next word must be heard. The words exploded. It became difficult to discern their meaning. The pool of memories began to crack as infinite blackness burrowed its way into the wall. This world is falling apart. How can a world of letters? I implore. Most important thing. World. Oh no. The light was complete. The memories disappeared. The tree's identity began to dissolve. As the letters slowly faded, Max was drawn back to the real world, and the tree was satisfied.
What in the... I never realized shades were capable of rational thought.
I don't care if they can tap dance and play the fiddle. I just want to kill him without all this hassle.
With the tree defeated, we no longer have to worry about being buried in its world of letters. Unless, of course, time itself begins to rewind.
Alright, so aside from the puzzle answers being different that time, that was exactly the same, so that's interesting. Let's see, Punisher, welcome in, hope you are doing good, and Shira, welcome in. Glad to have you with us, hope all is good with you. Yeah, we've already seen a lot of really interesting new information here. So I am fascinated to see how this run's going to treat us. Let's see, let's head for the junk heap next.
Popola said we might be able to find a key fragment in the junk heap.
Perhaps we can find a clue at Two Brothers' weaponry.
We'll get that one started, and then we'll do the last part of the junk heap last, I think. Because that way we've got an excuse to be there and see if we can do any new weapon upgrades. I think that makes the most sense to me. I think that's an interesting way to put it, Shira. That the game is showing you all the information you didn't have when you made the decisions to do what you did. That's cool. That is cool. Now, have you played Replicant? Or is the final ending going to be new to you? Because I'm told the final ending in Replicant was not in the original Nier. And I'm very interested to check that out. Oops. This is the wrong spot. You played Gestalt? Alright, so the final ending might be something you haven't seen before. It will be a pleasure and a privilege to show it off then. Ah, you're gonna play it on your own. Excellent, excellent. Always nice to support cool developers like this. I hope you enjoy it when you see it then. It is going to be a little bit before we get there though. So no worries about getting spoiled anytime soon. But yeah, so far I'm very much enjoying this game. And I'm eager to see, I've liked all the new stuff we've seen on this playthrough, and I'm eager to see how what other stuff we have in store for us in the future. So I think I dropped a dirty bag. I don't remember any of them dropping that before. So it's possible some of the items that we need for more upgrades are just sort of random drops out there somewhere. I suppose. Yeah, the one that came out first was Nier, and then they came out with the English version called Gestalt, because they changed it up because they thought Papa Nier would sell better in the West, which is very interesting to me. There's a lot to unpack there. Interestingly enough, Cheryl, we actually saw Papa Nier earlier. Because there was a part of the game that was DLC in the original Nier called Recycled Vessel, and it's actually built into Replicant. You get that for free. And for some reason, you're popping Nier in the recycled vessel section. So it's only, you know, a very tiny part, but he is in here a little bit. You prefer Papa Nier? That's fair. That's fair. Geek Boy, welcome in. How are you doing today, Geek Boy? Hope you are having a fantastic day.
Damn! Where'd they go?
Oh.
Get him! Don't let him escape!
Oh, jeez. Are we gonna die, Mom? My child.
I see something over there!
You're almost grown up now, my child. Stay strong. You must run now. Do you understand? Run as fast as you can. What about you? I'll challenge them and give you time to escape. No, you can't! Be safe, my child. Be safe and happy. Promise me that you will remember your mother. Mom? Mom, wait! Let's go together! Mom!
Here! They're in here!
Mom, no! Don't leave me! So this is going to be a sad playthrough. Mom, why? Who's there?
Who are you?
I'm Khalil. What's your name?
Military defense robot, P-33. You are an intruder. You must be eliminated. Error. There is something leaking from your eyes.
I'm crying, you big dumb robot. I miss my mom.
What is crying? Who is Mom?
It doesn't matter. I can't see her ever again because she's dead.
My creator is also dead. He perished hundreds of years ago.
Hundreds of years ago? Really?
874 years, 10 months, 14 days, 4 hours, and 43 minutes. 44 minutes.
Aren't you lonely?
I am incapable of being lonely, or missing others, or crying.
I'm crying because I don't want to die.
You will die.
If the humans catch me, they're gonna kill me.
Why will they kill you? I will not permit the humans to kill Khalil.
Huh?
Military defense robot P-33 will protect you.
You're gonna help me?
P-33 is charged with defending others. P-33 will defend Khalil.
Oh, hooray! Thanks, robot. And since we're friends now, I'm gonna call you Beepy. This is gonna be a sad playthrough. Cooled down a bit for you, Geek Boy. That is excellent to hear.
Man, there's gotta be tons of machinery here.
Yeah, but I don't know how much we can actually use.
Oh, wow. Check this out. It looks brand new.
Hey, be careful, all right? This place is dangerous.
I'll be fine.
Oh, no.
Huh?
Look out!
Huh? 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 Jacob? Oh, God. This can't be happening! Jacob! Jacob! No!
So if you remember, the kid always says that robots killed his brother, but it was the kid. Wow, that was scary.
The noise of the intruders caused the structure to fail. They should have proceeded with more caution. One intruder has perished.
Oh, that's terrible. I don't think they were chasing me. They seemed nice. Oh, jeez. Trey Dog, welcome
the
in.
Junkeep.
How are you doing
Perhaps
today?
we should speak to the brothers. They might know something about this.
Who wants a conscience? I've always got one, Trev. I think it's interesting because it's not like we're making different choices than we did the first time. We're just sort of going through the motions and seeing how things play out differently, which is kind of cool. Groshin, welcome in. We haven't learned too much more about Kaine today, although we can hear the shade that's possessing her now, whereas we didn't used to, which is kind of cool. How are you doing today, Groshin? Hope everything's going good with you. Yeah, alright. Let's just go talk to the crazy brother now. Because he's crazy.
Oh, hey there. It's been a while.
You're the little one, aren't you? You've grown up.
How fares your brother?
My brother's been dead for 4 years.
I like how he sounds normal at first.
Oh, I see. Please forgive the question.
It's okay.
I need to ask you something.
What is it?
You heard any rumors about shades around here? Not the little ones. I'm looking for one that's unusually big and powerful.
No, I haven't heard about anything like that. But I haven't really been listening. All I want is to destroy robots. Just rip them up.
And here's where the crazies kind of creeping in.
Okay. Never mind then. See you later.
Wait!
Yes?
I recently got my hands on a weapon. A very powerful weapon. I thought you might get some use out of it.
Don't we already have this weapon?
I was just gonna say, wait, I got that in the last playthrough.
Shh. These things happen the second time around.
Oh my god. Well. Wasn't expecting the game to get all meta on me here. Absolutely smashing their way through the fourth wall there. But yes, we got that weapon on the first time through.
This sword has seen better days.
It's okay, we're just gonna pretend. We're just gonna pretend.
Yeah, it's pretty beat up. I mean, there's potential, but it's fairly powerless right now.
Can you repair it?
I can repair anything with the proper materials.
If you'll fix it, I'll get the parts.
I'm so glad I decided not to throw this out. I'm gonna need some memory alloy. Only the real big enemies on the second basement level have them, so watch yourself. Also, here's the passcode to get down there. Use it on the elevator.
You got it.
Fourth wall? We don't need those stinking walls. Especially that one. Alright, make another save and then we'll head down there. And we just need to get to B2 is all we need to do. And then I think we fight the boss this time, if I remember correctly. I believe we're going to that boss right now. And we'll fight some dudes along the way, mostly because we have to. You already possess the following item, memory alloy.
It's a shame about the older lad. He was but a child.
Sounds like you went into a dangerous area for the sake of the business.
Does that mean I just go back? Do I not fight the boss now? What are we doing? Yeah, it doesn't show up in my side quest thing. I don't know, let's go see if we can talk to him. Well, he's not talking about a robot, he's talking about a sword, I believe. Okay, ready? What's a ship?
A large seagoing vessel that carries freight and passengers over bodies of water.
Yay! You're so great, BP. You've learned so much.
You have taught me much, Khalil. You have helped to expand my vocabulary. You have instructed me in the ways of the outside world.
Well, there's tons of stuff I don't know either. Maybe we should leave here and go explore the world.
Because we are friends.
That's right. Yay! It's gonna be fun. This is a sad playthrough. Alright, yeah, so I already have the material I need. Well, I'll see if I can just talk to him and get things fixed up.
That's some pretty impressive stuff you found. I'll start upgrading your weapon right away. And since you did me a favor, I won't even charge you for it. Well, actually, this is gonna take a little more time than I thought. No sense in you waiting around. I'll send you a letter once it's ready.
That would be great.
Alright, so I don't need to fight the guy now, basically.
No sense in...
That would be...
By the... What can I help you with?
Alright, I'll see if I can do any upgrading now. We have an upgrade grind? No, we are not doing the upgrade grind. Basically, we're just running through the story. Let's see, so we're using the Phoenix Spear right now. We still need to get an Eagle Egg to upgrade that, and I have no idea what an Eagle Egg is. I don't think we've ever seen that.
Come back.
I guess I'll keep an eye out for it, but I have no idea where to find it. Play for another
It
NPC.
appears we have some free time on our hands.
It'll be fun, they said.
Maybe Popol has found some information about the Shadow Lord. Let's drop by the village.
Very well.
Robin Hood Men in Tights? You know, I actually learned a secret about that movie recently, thanks to TikTok. So here's the thing. For anybody that's seen Robin Hood Men in Tights, there is a line in that movie where Robin Hood is describing himself. And he makes a joke about Kevin Costner. And here's what's interesting about that joke. It turns out the joke is different in whatever language of the movie you see it in. For example, in the English version, the joke is Carrie Elwes saying, and I can do a real British accent. Whereas in, I forget what language version of it, in another one of the language versions he says, and I don't waste $200 million of the producer's money. And literally in every language it's a different joke, which is amazing. I think that's so cool. Ah, gotcha, Geek Boy, gotcha. Mel Brooks, go home! Alright. How are we doing an XP here? Oh, we already hit level 31, nice. Hey, Shira! Shira, thank you so much for the gift sub to Geek Boy. That's really cool of you. Gift sub number 9 in the channel, lucky number 9. I appreciate the heck out of that, thank you. And Geek Boy, you enjoy your gift sub there. I think probably... It's so hard for me to pick my favorite Mel Brooks movie. I think for me it would either be Young Frankenstein or Blazing Saddles, both of which are just amazing, amazing movies. Ah, gotcha, Gamagumo, gotcha. Well, I'll keep my eyes open for it. We'll see if it pops up anywhere. I mean, it's not like I need to be more powerful right now. Let's be clear on that. I am already kind of overpowered as it is, so if I can't upgrade the Phoenix Spear anymore, that's probably not the worst thing in the world. Well, I've seen a lot of Mel Brooks movies. I never once saw Robin Hood. Something to look forward to one of these days if you ever want to check it out, Doc Belvin. It's fun. If you like Mel Brooks movies, you'll probably enjoy it. Now that one I haven't seen, Shira. I have not seen Dracula Dead and Loving It. I gotta check that one out then.
Learned anything new about the Shadow Lord's key, Popola?
You know, I was just going to talk to you about that. You remember the Eyrie, right?
That depressing shell of a village?
Not so much anymore, it sounds like. I just got this letter from the village chief. Have a look.
Let's see. From the office of the chief of the Eyrie to Popola, my greetings to you in your village. I hope everything is going well. Our village has shut itself away from the world for far too many years, and we have therefore decided it is time to change our ways. As part of this endeavor, we have resolved to establish a shop within the village. It is now open for business, and I look forward to seeing a great many customers from all over the world. With regards to the sacrifice keyword you wrote about, one of our villagers claimed to know the meaning behind the term. You are more than welcome to speak with him on the matter as part of your visit to the Eyrie. I hope to hear from you again soon.
Sacrifice? Isn't that the name of one of the key fragments?
That's right. I've been trading notes with leaders from every town in the land.
You're amazing, Popola.
This entire affair strikes me as a bit too convenient.
I'm afraid Grimoire Weiss is correct.
What do you mean?
The Eyrie has been shut off from the world for years. And now they've not only opened trade routes, but they freely exchange information about the Shadow Lord.
I agree. It seems rather unnatural. And dangerous.
You're overthinking it. Besides, I don't care if it's dangerous. I won't get Yona back by just sitting around and waiting. If there are shades there, I'll just kill him and be done with it.
Oh dear.
Well, if that's the way you feel, I guess I won't stop you. Try speaking with the chief when you get there.
Yeah, sure, I gotta check it out one of these days. I do want to watch it, because I do love Mel Brooks movies. So I'm pretty sure I'll enjoy it. God, Spaceballs is a good movie, too. The 12 Chairs? I've never even heard of that one. That's interesting.
The Eyrie, huh? Alright, let's go see the chief.
What a soul-crushing place.
Yeah, it's gonna be worse this time, I suspect. It's got balls in space. I actually learned about the context behind one of the jokes in Spaceballs too, because there's a joke in the movie where Mel Brooks as the Yoda character starts talking about merchandise, and there's a whole extended joke about that. I found out the context of that joke is that Mel Brooks actually approached George Lucas and said, hey, I want to do a parody of Star Wars, but I wanted to get your blessing before we did it. And George Lucas said, all right, I'll allow you to make a parody of Star Wars on one condition. I don't want you to make any Spaceballs merchandise. And he said, okay, that's fine. So they didn't make any Spaceballs merchandise. However, they did make that gag in the movie about that, which I thought was pretty hilarious. Saying what possible change could make the area somehow worse, I don't know, but we are definitely going to find out, and I am definitely not going to like it in any way, shape, or form. Spaceballs, the flamethrower! Kids love it. Exactly, fictional merch only. So yeah, that's a cute little detail I never knew about the movie before. I think probably my favorite line in that entire movie is when they're combing the desert.
That village setting up a mercantile. They must have truly opened their minds.
Yeah, I have my doubts.
Aren't you glad to be going back home, Kaine?
Home? The place is a shithole.
Ooh,
Ooh, the village. It's home to so many terrible little memories, isn't it, Kaine?
Shut up, shut up, shut up!
He's a jerk. Yeah, that's the line right there, giving him a we ain't found shit! It's a simple line, but that line cracks me up every single time. Especially because the guy that says that is, it's Tim something, Tim Russert? Something like that? He's the guy that goes on to play Tuvok in Voyager. And that's like his one appearance in the movie, and that's hilarious that he gets that line. I knew it! I'm surrounded by assholes. How many assholes do we have on this ship anyway? Tim Russ, that was it. Tim Russ. Thank you, Geek Boy. I appreciate that.
We do not desire.
Oh, here we go. We got some new stuff here.
We do not desire needless conflict.
If we can continue to live with humans,
then we can continue to live peacefully.
But that young man will come.
Yes, the young man will come.
He will kill us all. Women and children included.
What should we do? What can we do?
This is a sad playthrough, holy hell. I don't know about all this shit. I'm struggling here. This is gonna break my heart, isn't it? Oh yeah, I think you're right there, Geek Boy. Still, you can see how I made the mistake. The names are pretty close. Oh, this is gonna be heartbreaking. This is gonna be heart-wrenching. A sad story in a Yoko Taro game? Don't forget this is my first Yoko Taro game. I was not easily prepared for this. You might need some coffee to dull the daggers pointed at your heart. I have some void juice. Does that work? Hopefully void juice helps. Hopefully. Alright, so we need to get to the chief's hut first and foremost. Let's see, so we take this letter first, I believe. What would the void juice emote be? Would it be like a cup with like stars in it? Does void juice void feelings? No, it's just kind of sugary and sometimes cold, but usually not, because this cup doesn't actually hold in heat very well, unfortunately. Yes, we learned that shades are the real humans, and we learned that the humans are some sort of like clone bodies, artificially created bodies. We still have a lot of questions, but yeah, that was something we learned at the ending.
Hello? We're here from Popola's village.
It's all over.
We came to ask about the letter you sent.
Our days are numbered. Our village is doomed.
So is he talking about me now? Is that what he was talking about?
As cheerful as ever, it seems.
You're the one who wrote the letter, right?
I don't know about any letter.
What the hell is going on here?
It may be faster for us to take our inquiries elsewhere. Let us ask around. Someone must know something.
Alright, so now I think I need to head down to the... Yeah, I need to head down to the square over there. Put a cup draining into a black hole. That's true. That might be a little difficult to communicate with the emote form. That's something to think about. Yes, replicants. And they were calling... I still don't fully understand this part, but they were talking about the shades as gestalts. But I think that might only refer to the mindless shades? We still got questions there, but... We still got a couple playthroughs, so I'm sure we'll get some more answers along the way. Hopefully, anyway. Hopefully. Alright, here we go. One's going void and the other being juice. See, apparently they don't like you to have emotes that are just text anymore. I don't know if they're fully banned, but I know they try and discourage them.
A letter, huh? Yeah, I think I heard something about that.
So, you know about the letter?
Maybe I don't. I'm not sure. Which is it, man? Oh, and if I may ask, are you friends of Kaine?
You could say that.
Ah, I've heard the rumors. Here to hunt shades, are you?
Indeed. Our aim is to defeat every last one.
Every last one? Everyone? Everyone. Everyone.
Vice!
Beware, this man is a shade.
Damn it, it's a trap!
I figured as much.
So...
You guys sure are taking your goddamn time.
1,000 apologies. We were distracted by the local welcoming party.
Want some help?
A carnival of murder? I love it!
Kaine! The villagers are possessed!
But not all of them. Some are still human, so be careful.
We're definitely gonna have to talk about this once we get out of here, but yeah, we're definitely getting a whole new context now. Because we're seeing the village in a whole new light now. And I'm not liking it.
I can't tell who's human anymore.
Go. Drop this guy. Alright, got these guys. We took a bunch of damage there. Yeah, that's kind of what's complicating things this time, isn't it?
It's all over. This village is history.
Hey, Kaine.
Get out of here! No way! I'm not going to abandon my own sister!
Kaine, what's going on?
Don't be fooled by this lady. She's a shade.
No! No! You people are the monsters here!
Stay back, kid. Your sister is one of them now.
I don't care what she is! She's my sister, and I love her.
Kaine!
Why have you done this? We just wanted to live our lives in peace.
Stop it! Don't hurt my sister!
You monster! You possessed monster! It is you who have lost your humanity. You are the true monsters.
What madness. These people are behaving as if we are the villains.
We are. You are the cursed ones. You are the ones who should die.
Villagers are under attack over there.
Go away. I can't deal with this. Just leave me alone.
Damn it, Kaine! You gotta get up! Emil, watch Kaine. I'll go clean up over there.
All right.
Let me cut up right here. Let's see. Cosplay Diver, welcome in. How are you doing today, Diver? Hope everything is going good with you. Are we the baddies? Kind of. I don't think there's any good guys in this game, honestly. Dude, I love the PS3. It's one of my favorite systems out there. I mean, it doesn't beat the PS2 for me, but I like the PS3. So have we been called out on our hypocrisy for allying with Kaine who's possessed? They haven't mentioned that yet, but that seems like that'll have to come up. We need to we do need to get a Shane to Sith emote. I'm sorry, I keep meaning to work on that, but I haven't got around to it yet. But yeah, it's we're learning some new things about our actions this time. I don't think it is a village of child abusers or anything like that.
Help us! Help us, please! We are shades!
Like, last time we played this section, I didn't understand why the Shade didn't attack the little boy. But this time we know why, because the little boy is probably a Shade too.
Put down that weapon, please! I beg of you!
That's why the villagers kept complaining that we should leave. Because most, if not all of them, are Shades.
Why did you even come here?
That's why they're all complaining. Oh my god, we had no idea last time. I mean, they did do badly to Kaine, but...
What are you doing?
What could those black swirls be?
We still don't understand what exactly their problem with Kaine was either. She said something about her body being different, but we haven't really got a clear answer on that. Shade, who's the worst?
Help me, please!
We're all pretty terrible at this point. I don't even know that we can pick. He's dead.
I blame you for all of this!
That's that. There we go, got him.
What's happening?
Yeah, it isn't 100% clear to me who sent that letter. And that would really define why we're here.
By my pages, is this beast a Shade as well?
That thing sucked up the villagers.
No! If we keep this up, we're gonna kill them all! We can't let that happen!
Our village, our world, where am I? Who am I?
I feel something from within the creature.
So the combined Shade isn't entirely clear what's going on now either. Which is interesting.
Is this the combined power of all those Shades?
It will take more than a barrage of magic to stop us. The first to waver is the first to die.
Ow! Ow!
I sense magic coming from the center of that eye.
Go!
Wait! I think those are actual people!
Hold nothing back. Those are Shades. Now, focus your magic on the beast's center.
Oh god. Oh god.
Its weak point is located around the back. Try attacking it from above.
Ow.
I'll try to pin it down.
Emil!
You do that, Emil.
Emil!
I'll keep it busy. You should be able to attack from behind. Go around and get it. Please, hurry.
Emil can handle this. We must circle behind the creature at once.
Alright, yeah, we need to get up to where the Elder was. That should take us up this way. Have you seen an electric unicycle? I've seen like a powered mono wheel? I think that's what you mean. Yeah, I'm worried if that was maybe why Kaine was different from Russian. I think we'll probably find out more before the end of the run, but yeah, I'm very curious about that.
You must strike it in the eye.
See what I can do.
Are you there yet?
Working on it.
Did we get it?
It is escaping to the inner level.
I'm coming. Gotta catch my breath.
Careful, Emil. Won't help anyone if we lose you here.
Oh, where's the ladder? I can never find it over here. Can we just jump down? We can just jump down. It's over there now.
Damn it! We beat the hell out of that thing! How can it still move?
Its combined powers are beyond even my greatest suspicion.
Finish her.
Come on! Help me take it out!
I'm on it.
There we go. Oh, Doc Belvin is Vice, the voice of Illidan Stormrage. That's pretty cool. Hey, Gotwing, welcome in. How are you doing today? Yeah, that's basically what I'm thinking. Is I'm considering this basically the first playthrough with some director's cut scenes.
Emil, Emil, wait!
Emil!
He's gone. His instincts have taken hold. The ultimate weapon is being deployed.
Ah, fuck! This ain't good, Sunshine!
Uncontrollable magic. Ooh, do we get a new text sequence? That's kind of cool. It is a very, very tragic part of the game, most definitely. It comes down to a lack of communication is what a lot of it seems to be here, which is interesting. I'm doing good, Godwing. It's also very hot over here. It really is. Yeah, Emil has had a brutal life. It's really sad. What's with the semi-letterbox? I'm not sure. It might be a stylistic decision. It might be a... It's probably just a stylistic decision, I think, but I'm not sure. Oh no, that's where you found it, giving you a vote, goddammit. Taiyo! I have to protect the people I love. That was the only thought as I unleashed a magic powerful enough to destroy not only the Shade, but everyone else as well. Alright, so now we're getting inner thoughts of Emil here. All of them. So many innocent lives. Destroy. Eviscerate. Crush. Kill. These are the dark impulses that overwrite all other thoughts. As a being that was created to be a magical weapon, these are my instincts. Or maybe it's better to call them our instincts. And this is to go even further beyond! Super Emil 3? Is that what we're doing here? Emil's Dream. Rampage. Ah, it's a specific model. Gotcha, Diver. A klaxon sounds from deep within the bowels of the laboratory. Thick metal shutters drop down, sealing off the room with a series of dull metal thuds. Abort the experiment! Number 6 is out of control! Everyone get out of here now! Get out of here! The researcher's words are abruptly cut off as a massive hand materializes out of the gloom and lifts him high into the air. Last Raven! Oh god, I remember the bad old days of Dragon Ball Z. The story I always tell people is I had a friend when I was a kid that went to summer camp for 2 weeks during the Namek saga, and he comes back and he's like, what did I miss? And I'm like, nothing. Nothing happened. He's like, well, what do you mean? I missed 10 episodes. I'm like, yeah, nothing happened. The researcher begins to scream. He screams and screams, the sounds echoing off the walls of the laboratory, until the hand squeezes down, coating the room in a deep crimson hue. The rest of his colleagues stand in silence, mouths open, unable to process what they have just seen. But then a female scientist takes a step back and lets fly with a heartbreaking wail. But this is a terrible mistake, for the sound of her cry suddenly brings forth a monster in all of its terrible glory. Its body is a bloated corpse, its head a grinning skull. So this we know from the previous playthrough. This is Emil's sister, known as Number 6, the ultimate weapon. And it is massive, many times the size of a human. The head lolls from side to side as it tromps about the room on all fours, bringing to mind the wild maneuverings of some wretched, starving beast. This creature, this thing, is experimental weapon number 6, also known as Halua. No! Oh no! Please stop! Oh god, save me! Save me! I don't want to die! One by one, the maddened cries of the researchers are silenced. If number 6 understands their petitions, it pays them no heed, instead continuing its rampage of destruction and slaughter with a focus that borders on obsession. After an eternity, the screaming stops. The alarms fall silent. And only then does the creature make a sound, howling out with an unfathomable roar that echoes up and down the empty halls of the blood-soaked laboratory. It's the sound of curses those who had dared bring such evil into the world, and yet one that also seems to be pleading for help. Two sets of footsteps echo in an otherwise silent corridor in the first level of the laboratory. Nothing happened due to pacing or the issues of the dub stopping. Nothing happened due to pacing. Is basically they were just sort of puttering around dodging Frieza for 2 weeks straight. Because there was a lot of pacing issues in Dragon Ball Z. Holy crap, the anime anyway. At least one time, Goku's American voice actor passed out from the constant streaming. If anyone hasn't seen it before, there's a clip on YouTube, I believe from the Beerus movie, where you can actually see the voice actors in the booth, and you can see Goku's current English voice actor doing the scream. It looks so brutal. Holy shit, the veins popping out of his neck. It's insane. I would very highly recommend everyone take a look, if you can find it. One set belongs to a young boy, his eyes blindfolded and his hands restrained. The other belongs to a severe man in a long white coat. The man drags the boy along by means of a long chain attached to a set of shackles on his wrists. Rubble is scattered here and there across the floor of the corridor, making the journey an exceedingly difficult one for a boy who cannot see. Excuse me? Could you please walk a little bit slower, sir? I'm not used to being blindfolded and... Rather than stopping, the man only increases his pace, causing the boy to stumble in an attempt to keep up. This last humiliation proves too much, and the boy finds himself unable to arrest his fall. Without the ability to brace himself, he topples to the floor, smashing his head on a pile of debris and causing a trickle of blood to worm its way down his pale, frightened face. Agonized by the pain, the boy inadvertently opens his eyes, causing the falling drops of blood to emit a strange crackling sound before transforming into tiny white rocks. "Close your damn eyes!" roars the man. "Yes, sir," stammers the boy as he slams his lid shut. He hadn't realized the blindfold had slipped off during the fall, but now he keeps his eyes squeezed shut so tightly that sparkles appear against the black of his vision. The boy is Emil, also known as Number 7. He is a magical weapon whose eyes are capable of turning to stone anything that falls under their gaze. "Don't look at me!" barks the man. "Never look at me!" "I'm sorry, sir. I'm looking at the ground now, so if you just hand me the book..." Instead of waiting for him to finish, the man extends one foot and presses Emil's face to the floor with a heavy black boot. "Sir, stop! You're hurting me!" "I told you to keep your eyes and your mouth shut, so do it!" The man knows this boy. This weapon could wipe him out with a single glance, and yet subduing him in this way gives him a sense of relief. After making certain the boy is sufficiently cowed, the man leans down, retrieves the blindfold, and knots it tightly around the boy's quivering head. "Right then, on your feet, let's move." Emil staggers to his feet, trying to ignore the red liquid oozing down his face. The blood doesn't matter. The pain doesn't matter. All that matters is finishing the job they had set out for him to do. The second level of the laboratory is in even worse shape than the first. The environs are littered with rubble and rock, making the thought of a decent foothold laughable. When the man's eyes linger on a section of rubble stained a deep red, he has a sudden image of warm, gooey brownies slathered in the strawberry sauce. His stomach lurches at the thought, but when he attempts to avert his eyes, they land on the remains of a human being, rendered into what could only be described as paste. The man blinks. His mind goes strangely blank before attempting to determine exactly how many humans had to be sacrificed to create the scattered piles of flesh around him. After a moment, his thoughts simply cease altogether, as if his mind realizes that trying to put such a thing into form is folly. You can go the rest of the way on your own," says the man in a voice much weaker than he wishes it to be. "I mean, what does it matter? You're not even human. You're a monster." With this, the man spins around and dashes back down the hall. The helpless Emil simply listens as the footsteps of his erstwhile captor fade into the distance. Emil finds himself alone in a room with the stench of death and blood. For a moment, he considers opening his eyes, but the thoughts of the horrors that await him quickly squash that plan. Instead, he stands still and listens intently. Eventually, a far-off sound reaches his ear. "That's the howl I heard before." Emil resumes walking, using the sound of the distant voice to guide him, almost as if it was calling him home. By the time Emil reaches the third level, he is moving on memory as much as sound. His hands and face are covered in fresh wounds from numerous falls, but every time he thinks about giving up, his mind returns to his sister. "We studied together. We ate cookies together. We cried together. We laughed together. And sometimes, I was the only one who got yelled at. That's why I was never lonely. Our being together allowed me to stay strong." For Emil, his sister was all he had to live for. But holding that feeling close to his chest, he presses on, one slow step after the other. Finally, Emil finds himself drawing close to a certain experimental chamber in the deepest part of the laboratory. The howl is very close now, and as he touches the switch that controls the door, he thinks about his mission. Number 6 is the ultimate weapon. She is his sister, and he must turn her to stone. The door slowly opens, revealing the massive interior of the experimentation chamber. After a few steps, Emil removes his blindfold and slowly opens his eyes. His sister lurks before him, but she looks nothing like the girl he once knew. Instead, he sees a savage beast crawling on all fours through the shredded remains of researchers. As the thing that had been his sister stops and tilts its head in Emil's direction, he focuses his gaze on it. A series of soft crunching sounds emerge from the creature as his magic does its terrible work. First the fingers, then the hands, arms, legs, head. What little color the beast once possessed fades to a dull ashen gray, and yet somehow it summons what strength remains and pulls itself towards Emil one slow, lumbering effort at a time. Wailing, the massive monstrosity closes in. Is she worried about me? Or is she coming to kill me? Emil feels prepared to accept either outcome. After all, this was his older sister, the person he loved more than anyone else in the world. Hello, The moment Emil speaks, number 6 comes to a sudden halt. Silence descends on the chamber as the siblings stare at each other. I'm sorry, Halloa, but everyone says you're too powerful. They say it's too dangerous unless I seal you away. I'm so sorry. As Emil watches her body begin to turn to stone once more, number 6 simply waits in utter, perfect silence. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The moment number 6's petrification is complete, her memories flood into Emil's mind. The two of them huddling together in the cold, all alone in the world with no one to protect them. All she wanted was to save her little brother. And yet, it was that little brother who in a sense saved her. The moment the petrification is complete, Emil sinks to his knees. A frozen sister and a little brother racked with sin. Alone in this cold cage, the two of them weep in a single, silent voice. This is the sad playthrough, jeez. Let me get caught up on chat a little bit. Raiden, thank you so much for dropping that link in chat, I appreciate that. Let's see. The unfortunate thing, Drab, is at least in America, voice actors do not get paid all that much, and they don't have very much rights as far as workers go. It's a bad situation. It's worse for video game voice actors in a lot of ways. But anime voice actors, especially ones that have to do screams like that, it's a brutal job, it really is. It was our combined power that destroyed the Aerie. Whole existences, entire lives, even their memories. We took it all. We took everything. My sweet, gentle sister turned into a monster, and the same thing will happen to me now that I have her power. If my instincts as a weapon win out and destroy me in the process, if that power ends up hurting someone I love,
What have I done? I killed innocent people. I killed them all.
But you saved us. If it wasn't for you, we'd all be dead. We owe you.
But I...
It's all right. Really? Don't look back.
There's fragment number 2. And somehow one of the saddest scenes in the game got sadder. Go figure.
We had best be off.
Yeah.
Ooh. Crystal Genesis, welcome in. How are you doing today? Alright. I didn't actually turn around here before. But yeah, there is very little to see here. Wow. Alright. Yay, we got the fragment! Yay! somehow not feeling thrilled about it. I don't know how that works, but just not feeling great about the whole thing. All right. So let's see where we're headed to next. Let's go speak with Popola.
Maybe Popola's found some information about the Shadow Lord. Let's drop by the village.
Very well.
Do we really want to continue this? I mean, I'm going to be honest, this hurts. This hurts a lot. But I like the story, and I like seeing what there is of the story. And like I said, in my own headcanon, this isn't a second playthrough. We're just repeating everything that happened in the first playthrough, but we're learning more about what was happening. So that's how I'm justifying it to myself. I mean, Email did save our lives. There is that. Email was trying to protect the people he loved, and I respect that. That's not a bad thing. But also, it is a terrible thing, and I understand why he feels bad. Like I said, it doesn't feel like there's any heroes in this game so far. Now, I don't think that our character is a villain or anything. It's a misunderstanding is the problem. Our character doesn't have any way to speak to the Shades, so we don't really have the context that we, the viewers, are getting this time around. Hence, why this fits the literary definition of tragedy. Because if everybody knew everything, we could, you know, change our actions and avoid so much of the terrible things that happen, but, War never changes. Ain't that the truth?
Hey, Popola.
Ah, you're back.
Have you learned anything more about the Shadow Lord's key?
I'm sorry, but it's going to take me some time yet.
I see. Well, can I take something off your plate in the meantime?
Oh, how about this? You know the ferryman with the red bag, right? Well, he's been skipping out on work lately. Can I ask you to go to Seafront and check on him?
Sure thing.
We can do that. This War of... Oh, God. I don't know if I can stream this War of mine. Like, it's one thing when a game surprises me with being sad, but, like, this War of mine, I know up front that's gonna break my heart. That's a lot tougher. Like, for a long time, this game wasn't a sad game.
This feels alarmingly familiar.
I'm sure that couple is merely having another one of their inane spats. Let us do our utmost not to get dragged into it this time,
Like, for a long time, this was an exciting game. It was a cool, action-packed third-person battler. And I was a big old badass running around kicking ass, and it was awesome. It's not so much that now, though. I mean, the combat's still fun, just, you know, I am awash in sadness, is all. Yeah, there is that. I think that'll probably be the last thing we learn in the game. Because we can hear the boss shades talk now. So the last thing we'll probably learn in this playthrough is what he was saying, what his motivation was. And that's going to change the ending completely, just knowing what he was talking about there. So that'll be very interesting. Can I run into this guy? I cannot run into this guy, okay. That would have been cool. Ooh, he's really strong. Why is he really strong? I'm barely damaging him. What's going on? Alright, I guess I guess he's strong against magic is what it is. We can just wall him with a spear is all. I notice he's taking damage from the sun too, which is cool. Alright. Hopefully we got a good chunk of XP for that. Ooh, that is a very good price, actually. I would say that is very nice. Well, good luck if you end up doing that LTG. That's awesome. Yeah, those big guys can often one-shot me, so I was playing it very carefully there, but luckily I don't think he ever tagged me with his melee attack. So we are good. Go, let's dodge over here. Into that. Get some finishers in here too. Ow! Damn it! I thought I had him with the spikes, but I did not. Alright, we're getting close to the next level though, that's a good thing. I think shots hitting his armor. Oh, that would be interesting if the armor actually stops magic damage entirely. There we go, that guy's down. Just drown in the blood of your enemies, it's that easy. I mean, our character still has no idea what shades are. The character himself has no idea, it's just us the viewers that have been fully informed of all the terrible, horrible truths that we now must deal with. Yeah, someone mentioned, was that LTG that was mentioned in that earlier? That all the little ones drop old school books and use coloring books? So that's horrid. That's devastating.
Yeesh. I don't think I've ever seen fog this thick before.
Ah, I gotcha, LTG. Still, whatever the studio is, I respect them for paying those kind of rates. That's awesome of them. Hey, Pox David! Came in to get some retro recommendation looking for a D&D-like game. Ooh, Baldur's Gate is very good, but it's also got a lot of jank to it because it is very old. But the story is excellent. So yeah, that's a cool game. Basically, I'd try it out, and I'd see if you like the gameplay. If not, if the gameplay is a little bit too jank for you, there's things you can jump forward to, like Neverwinter Nights. You can jump forward to that. That's a good experience. Or, if you wanted to get out of retro as well with the same D&D feel, there is the Pathfinder Kingmaker game. There's that. There's, what was that one? The one Rin was playing was the one. I'm trying to remember what that one was. Right on the tip of my tongue. Also, Baldur's Gate 3 should be coming out, hopefully before too long. So that should hit the same vibes, I think. Now, Wildermyth, before that, it was, Divinity Original Sin. That was the one I was trying to think of. That one also kind of hits that D&D feel, I think. Let's see. Cafe Claire, welcome in. I hadn't known about that. As a matter of fact, I didn't even realize there was a Wrath of the Righteous game. That's a good recommendation, then. Thank you very much for that. Hope you're doing well today.
Huh? What's that?
So we didn't see this scene before. I don't think. No, we did not. This is new. Yes, Pox David, all those games that Drav has listed there are excellent choices if you're looking for a D&D-esque. The only one I think I'd call out there is, if you're playing Planescape Torment, understand that you're playing it for the story and not so much the combat, because there's a lot more of that one than the other. But yeah, you've got some old retro choices there, you've got some modern choices, but I think all of them will scratch the kind of D&D type game itch if you're looking for them. Also, hope you're doing well, Pox David. Hope everything is good with you.
Hey, buddy. You know a place called the Lost Shrine?
Yeah, I know it.
Listen, I'm what's called a botanist.
Oh, I never
That
took
means
this guy's...
anybody-
Oh, shoot, I never turned this guy's quest in last time.
I'll do it.
I remember we got that quest last time, and I got the root. I never took it back to him, though.
Oh god, it's over.
What's wrong?
Oh, hey, I remember you. You're the ones who helped us out way back when.
Seeing as we've come all this way, I suppose we had best ask, what is the matter?
I had a fight with my husband, and he ran away from home.
Yes. You may color me utterly flabbergasted.
But it's all that idiot's fault. I was saving up a bunch of apples, and he went and ate 10 of them.
That is excessive.
That's actually sort of impressive.
Well, sure, I may have lost my temper a little, but I can't believe he just up and left. He's been gone for a week now, and it's...
All right. We'll help you find him.
Really? Oh, thank you so much.
There is the gold box collection, but those... The jank in the gold box collection
And here we go again. Shall we begin by asking around at the tavern like before?
The gold box collection jank is very high. It's interesting, it's kind of cool, but high learning curve, let's put it that way. Tailspire, that sounds kind of cool. Machine Strongman, welcome in. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing well. Fox David, last day of the summer holiday, but I'm looking forward to going back to work. Awesome. Well, I hope it's good for you to get back in the swing of things then. I hope you had a good vacation.
Hey there. I'm looking for the guy with the red bag. You seen him around lately?
Really? Is that couple fighting again?
Yeah, the guy took off and hasn't been seen since. I take it this isn't a surprise?
Hardly. Their arguments are legendary. We're actually considering selling tickets as a tourist attraction. Anyway, I think he's from that village with the library. Maybe he went back home. I think his brother is a guard there or something.
Thanks for the tip. I'll see what I can figure out.
Say, you're pretty handsome. Care to buy a lonely woman a drink?
Yeah, I'm good.
Completely brush her off. Wow! They're adapting 110 chapters into one movie. That's brutal. That is absolutely brutal.
Hard to believe a ship of this size managed to run aground. What was that? Hey, is someone there? Okay, I definitely heard someone cough just now. Maybe it's one of those kids from town? But where are they? There you are. What are you doing here, kid? And who are you, anyway? Were you a passenger on this ship, maybe? Hey, it's okay. You don't need to be scared.
So we saw the postman in the boat last time, but now we're seeing a little bit more of how he got there and why he was doing what he was doing.
To think that couple's petty squabbles have become something of an attraction for the locals.
Doesn't surprise me in the least. Seeing people like that puts a little spring in your step, you know?
You humans truly are a maddening bunch. Such buffoonery does little more than wear this old tome out.
Alright, so now we gotta stop back home to talk to that guard to see if he's over there, which, spoiler alert, he's not. But luckily, as long as we use the boar, this won't take too long.
Hey there. How you feeling? Well, your cough seems better at least. Check it out. I brought you some bread today. Oh, easy there. Jeez, you must have been starving. Well, look, no one's gonna take this from you, so just take it easy so you don't choke on it, okay? So, what were you doing on this boat, kid? Actually, scratch that. First things first. I can't just keep calling you kid. You got a name? Well, this is going nowhere fast. Let's see. Louise. Yeah, what about Louise? I mean, it just sort of popped into my head, but what do you think? Guess you're okay with it. Well, it's nice to meet you, Louise.
That's kind of sweet, and it's going to break my heart later on, I suspect. Unannounced Avatar game, interesting.
We searched the Southern Plains back when the wife ran off too, right?
I believe we did, yes.
A lot's changed since then. So it's kind of nice when we find something that hasn't. The fact that couple is still arguing almost fills me with, I don't know, hope, I guess.
If you asked me, that particular couple could benefit from a little change.
Kill these guys for some sweet, sweet XP. Go! I think the armor seems to be protecting them from the sunlight. Because if you notice, these guys don't seem to be burning. Which is kind of an interesting detail. Come on. I forgot I had a charge move, too. That spinning thing is my charge move with the blade, which is pretty cool. Or with the spear, I mean. Yeah, when it glows like that, that's the charge move. I like it. Yeah, see, when you knock the armor off, it looks like they're burning. So I wonder if that's the express purpose why these guys are wearing armor, to protect themselves from the sun. Oh, jeez, Louise! Oh my god. Perfect. 10 out of 10. No notes. Print it. All right.
Oh, hey, it's you. What's up?
You're related to the ferryman who carries a red bag around, right?
Yeah, he's my little brother. Haven't seen him in a while, though.
A shame. Have you any idea where he may have absconded to?
Not a clue. Like I said, I haven't seen him.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, but the last time I did see him, he said something about using his ferry to deliver letters. Maybe you should try talking to someone at the post office.
I guess we could ask the postman over in Seafront.
Just once, I would enjoy receiving a quest that can be sold in the general vicinity of the Asker.
Keep your meta comments to yourself there, Vice. Open world Avatar would be pretty interesting, though I imagine they'd have to set it like...
I cannot believe how many trips we have made simply to track down a single man.
It's alright to do this kind of thing every now and then.
I only pray this is not the calm before some manner of storm.
I imagine they'd have to set it after the series, otherwise it would be difficult to make it open in any sense of the word, right? Ah, level 32, beautiful. This guy. Whoa! Don't know what happened there. Game kind of lagged a little bit. Get back up. Let's finish this guy up. I think it's good. Probably won't be create a character one. Yeah, I imagine if they're going to make ones like set during the last Airbender, it's probably going to be
Say there, lad, have you ever penned a missive?
You mean a letter? No. I'm not big on writing. It always takes me forever to figure out what I want to say.
What's to figure out? One simply takes quill in hand and unleashes their soul upon the canvas of the page.
Whatever you say, Vice.
You're probably going to be playing Aang, and it's probably going to be a relatively straightforward run through the series, I would imagine. But who knows? For all we know, it could even be a fake listing. I know they are working on some new Avatar stuff. They had already announced that. So that'll be interesting to see. I know they gave a little detail. I don't remember too much about it. But more Avatar stuff sounds good. Yeah, it could be set prior to the first Avatar series. That would make sense as well. I can see that. Platinum made an Avatar game? How did I not know about that? What system is it on? I might have to look into that one. Alright. The cabbage vendor, please! Best character in the series? They gotta put him in there. Gotcha, gotcha.
Hey there, Louise. Say, where'd you get that red bag?
Oh, God.
Found it on the ship, did you? You kids are so darn curious about everything. Anywho, it's good to see you. Afraid I don't have any bread today, but I did bring you something. Here, it's a ribbon. Let me tie it in your hair for you. Well, what do you think? Pretty nice, huh? Huh. What's that on the floor? Oh, it's a mirror. Well, that's a stroke of luck. Let's go ahead and check out your new look. If you go over there where it's brighter, you'll be able to see yourself more clearly. What's wrong? Don't you want to see?
She doesn't want to step into the sunlight.
Oh, I see. You don't like sunlight. Guess your eyes are pretty sensitive after spending all this time in the dark, huh?
Yeah, that must be it.
Well, it's not like we can have you stay here forever. We should work on getting you out of here so you and me can go look at the sea together. How's that sound?
Ah, that was platinum number 3 for you, LTG. That's interesting. Shino, welcome in. How are you doing today, Shino? Hope everything's going good with you. All right. And we are back in Seafront. Headed over to the post office this time. Oh, hang on a second. Ooh, sorry, I had a sneeze creep up on me there. Alright, the entrance to the post office is here. I actually remember this time. Doing good? Good to hear. Scuba by the beach would be nice. Scuba anytime is a wonderful treat.
Hey, Post... Oh, sorry. You're not him.
I'm sure as hell not. I just swung by to pick up a letter and wound up running the damn place. Anyway, you here for a package or something?
No. There's this couple who's always fighting and the husband took off, so I'm trying to track him down. Ring any bells?
Sorry, pal. You're asking the wrong guy. Still, that's pretty weird. My buddy's daughter took off too. Maybe running away is the cool thing to do now.
I find it exceedingly unlikely this pair of runaways is mere coincidence.
Any idea where she might have went?
That is the question, isn't it? Actually, you know what? I bet she went to check out the huge shipwreck that drifted into the inlet the other day. Not often something like that comes around. It's all the kids have been talking about.
Go check that out then. This should be interesting.
Hey, Louise. I brought your food for today. What's wrong? Aren't you hungry? Huh. You haven't been eating much lately. Are you okay? Well then, let's try this. Yeah, sorry about that. It's called a song. Humming a jaunty tune is the best thing for putting a spring in your step. Songs are like a little bit of wisdom that makes the tough times easier. I love them personally. I mean, not that I'm any good at singing. Whoa, your voice is a bit rough there. But you're actually pretty good. You know, I knew someone who lived in the town lighthouse before she died. She used to hum this same song a lot. I heard it every time I stopped by to deliver something, and I guess it just kinda stuck. Of course, that was quite a while ago. Hey, are you trying to cheer me up? You are a kind soul, Louise.
I think timeline-wise, it would have had to have been written after Drakengard 3. Because this game only came out pretty recently. Would have been. I think it would have been after Drakengard.
I'm sensing some really weird magic going on here, Sunshine. You feeling it too?
Yeah. Is it a shade?
Are you actually trying to think something through rather than just jumping in and killing?
What's wrong, Kaine?
Nothing. It's just... I'm sensing a presence from seafront. Something like a shade.
A shade in the town? That's not good.
Well, we know the postman's dead right now. Or, the old postman? I think he's dead too. We find a bunch of corpses inside the ship since this is our second playthrough. Oh, that
shipwreck, is it? I suppose we might as well investigate, seeing as how we lack any other tenable leads.
Right. Let's head for the inlet.
I wasn't aware the ship was supposed to be cut content. That's interesting. Alright. To the inlet. Ah, the intoners, right. I never did finish Drakengard 3, but I know what you're talking about.
Emil. What's going on? I haven't seen you two come into Seafront in, well, ever, I guess.
Sorry for the surprise. Kaine said she sensed something strange in the area.
Strange how? Like a shade?
Maybe. I'm not sure. There's some kind of sound or something coming from up ahead.
What an incredibly specific piece of information the hussy has graced us with.
What is it, Kaine?
Nothing. Let's get moving.
Let's get moving then, sure. And there it is. Yeah, I think what I read is there's a mention of a wrecked ship in the PS3 version, but you can't actually really interact with it to this degree. You definitely can't go on board it, from what I heard. Yes, seriously, Vice, just because you think a thing doesn't mean you need to speak it.
We're gonna need to figure out some way to get inside that thing.
This ship is in a state of wanton decay. Surely we can find a hole or some such if we put our minds to it. These planks seem to be covering a rather large hole.
We can probably get in if we move them out of the way.
I'm worried about whatever it is Kaine is sensing. We should make sure we're really prepared before going inside.
Yeah, I'm ready.
So, were you able to write that letter? You know, now that I've taught you how. Not yet, huh? Well, there's certainly no reason to rush.
Taught her how? How long was the postman talking to this little girl? Oh man, yes, I love that website, LTG. Fantastic website to visit.
You know, it makes me happy that you've taken such a shine to me. First time we met, I didn't have the foggiest idea what was going on in that head of yours. So, hey, I've been thinking. How about you come live with me? It might be kind of nice to have a daughter around. Not into it, huh? Guess I should have figured. I'm sad to hear it, but it's your choice, of course. Huh? The floor's wet. Wait, is this blood? Oh dear. Are you...
And as usual, the postman continues missing all of the warning signs.
Oh, baby, that is one hell of a smell. We got something real nasty nearby, eh, Sunshine? Come on, don't tell me you ain't picked up on it yet. You of all people gotta know what this smell means.
This ship is in poor condition indeed. Do try not to thrash about and bring its timbers down around us, hussy.
Whatever.
You sure you're all right, Kaine?
You really shouldn't push yourself. Hey, I've got an idea. How about you and me search outside and get some nice fresh air in the process?
Sure. Let's do that.
Sounds good. Take care of Kaine for us, Emil.
Emil is on the case. Come on, Kaine. Let's get the lead out.
So Kaine knew what we were going to find in here, which is interesting.
This place is pretty gloomy. I'm having a hard time imagining any townsfolk hanging around here.
Well, as we've no other leads, let the search begin. Look there, on the floor. I believe we've found ourselves a lantern.
And there's still some oil in it. Nice.
It's locked.
We require a key in order to proceed. Let us fumble about and see if we cannot find one.
Wait, did you see that girl just now?
I did indeed. How on earth did she manage to get behind us? Perhaps she is the runaway we heard tell of at the post office. Best track her down and take her back to town with us.
Alright, let's take a peek in there.
There's no one here.
Weird. It's like we just saw a ghost.
Oh, what foolishness. I am certain this room merely contains a secret passageway or the like.
It's such a tiny detail, but I love that Vice is scared of ghosts. Freaking adorable.
What is with this ship anyway?
There may be clues somewhere that tell of how it ran aground.
Alright, use the hold key, there we go.
It looks really dark up ahead.
Then perhaps we ought to make use of that lantern we just found,
That's such a weird line, like they're trying to teach you how to use the lantern even though you had to have used it to get to this point.
What's this? An apple. It's a bit bruised, but it's not super old or anything.
I wager it was dropped by that fruit-loving ferryman with the red bag. Perhaps he absconded to this ship to wait out the storm after yet another spirited debate with his wife. Ah, goodness, what a troublesome couple.
Let's keep moving.
Oh, what was that sound just now?
Sounds like it came from the floor above us.
Well, let's get up there then.
This barrel's been knocked over, and there's flour everywhere.
Surely it was toppled by the girl we saw at the entrance. Wait. Cast your eyes to the floor, lad. The missing child left white tracks in her passing. Should we follow them, I expect we will find our way to her.
Check the other doors along the way, though.
Man, this book's got some serious heft to it. Wonder what it's for.
It would seem to be this ship's logbook. Let us avail ourselves of a gander.
Such a sentence, oh my god.
Records of the routes it traveled, the weather it encountered, and the places it made port, all in a painstaking level of detail. I would expect no less for a vessel of this size. Until the day the records suddenly cease.
What the hell happened on this ship?
What indeed? It's locked.
The white handprints on the wall lead in the direction of this door.
That's weird. How is it locked if the girl just used it? Unless she's actually...
I demand you cease your interminable chatter about ghosts at once. The simplest explanation is that she locked the door from the other side.
I didn't even say anything yet. In any case, if we want to use the door, we'll have to find a key.
Yeah, we can do that. Alright, I remember this part. Go here.
Hey, there's a notebook on this desk. Oh, wow, this thing is crammed full of information.
A record of the cargo they carried, no doubt. Let me see. By my pages, this ship was used by slavers. How simply atrocious.
Wait, you're telling me they sold people?
And made out quite handsomely from the transactions, it would seem.
How could they do something like that?
I do not know, nor do I care to ponder it. Let it suffice to say there are monsters who trade coin for misery in all corners of this accursed world.
That was gold, I'll take that.
There's a breeze coming through these shelves.
That white vase is rather conspicuous. Try giving it a nudge.
Nudge vase.
A hidden room. How delightful.
Nudge. Boop. Give it a little bit of a boop.
These chests are pretty huge.
And what do they contain? Treasure, perhaps?
I wish. Looks like a bunch of iron tools.
Those are no mere tools, lad. They are instruments of torture. I shudder to think what evil transpired in this room.
Wait, you took 1,000 gold from slavers? They certainly weren't using it anymore. Ooh, a USB desk fan. Fantastic, Rin. Hopefully that helps a little bit in these temps. And hopefully packing went well as well.
The exit looks walled off. And I think there's something written on it?
And in blood, no less. The smudging makes it difficult to pass, but I believe it reads, "Let me out." No doubt they can find their human cargo in this room.
That's terrible.
We may be able to pass through here should we push the shelves in the outer passageway.
Doing some posthumous profiteering off slavery? I mean, what am I supposed to do? Let it rot in this ship? Wander out to sea? I'll put it to better use.
These shelves are blocking the exit of that secret room from before. Can they be moved?
Only one way to find out.
Back this way, there we go. The shelves can no longer...
It appears to be caught in a crack in the floor. It would not do to have the ground beneath our feet come undone, so let's give up on pushing the thing.
That's okay, we did what we needed to do. There we go, passageway key.
There don't seem to be any shades around, at least.
Fortunate for us. Now let no more time be wasted in our search for the townsfolk.
All right.
The white tracks end here.
Wait, I hear something.
We didn't know what the sound was last time, but now we do.
Would it not be wise to explore the rooms on the floor above us?
Yes. I have to sing and cheer myself up. Where did he go? Why do I feel this way?
Whatever that sound was, it stopped. I swear it sounded like a girl.
This is a voice pipe. A contraption by which one's voice can travel to a faraway location.
Which means the girl is in whatever room this pipe connects to.
Hold a moment. I spy a chart of the ship's layout on the wall. Yes, this pipe connects to a cabin in the ship's stern.
Onward and, inward, I guess.
Let's see, EP, welcome in. How's everything going with you, EP? Hope you're having a good weekend. Oh, the harvest, right, I do owe a harvester right there. Thank you for the reminder. So, you know, I think this repetition structure...
This little lantern has brought us quite far, hasn't it?
Yeah, and the light it gives off makes me feel, I don't know, safe somehow.
Well, aren't we the romantic?
I think this repetition structure could be used for Harvester. I think that's what we should do, is we should have Harvester, you have to play through it several times to get the full context. Except I think we shouldn't be as subtle about it. Like, this is a very clever thing. Let's not do clever. Clever is expensive. Clever is time-consuming and effort-consuming. No. Let's make sure it is as blunt as possible. Let's just have it when you play New Game Plus. Every character, instead of saying hello, starts their sentences with, "But now I shall reveal the true story." So you have to play through it a second time to actually get any interesting information. It'll just be weird, mysterious the first time through, which, honestly, very thematic for Harvester. I think that can work, right? We should just do that. I'm loving this already. Alright, we didn't actually check in this room before. We missed this room and the room next to it before.
Looks like somebody's journal. Here, let me see. It says the ship was attacked by some kind of monster. Seems like the person who wrote this holed up in here, while the monster roamed around the ship, killing everyone. Do you think that actually happened?
I cannot say. Though the term monster might well be referring to a shade.
And thank you everyone for the Steves. Much appreciated.
A kitchen, is it? Heavens, look at the size of this saucepan. This must have been where they prepared meals for the crew.
There's a note stuck to the counter. Extra rice, hold the peppers. Looks like the crew had some say over how they ate.
To be picky about one's food while at sea is a luxury indeed.
Obtained medicinal herb next to it. Yeah, nice. Couple of medicinal herbs in here. Not that I think we need it at the moment, but still, I'll take it.
Oh, damn. The hell is this smell?
Perhaps it is wafting from further inside?
Another apple.
Just how many apples does that quibbling husband keep on his person while he's out and about?
He likes snacking. You can't blame him for that.
Let's keep searching. Vice? I think the floor is...
Ow.
Speak to me, lad. Are you hurt?
Been better, but I'll live. I can't see a thing down here. And what is that terrible stench?
I suspect we may have fallen into the ship's hold.
The lantern got away from me during the fall. We'd better look for it.
I think the floor is lava! And that would have been a whole other sequence if the floor hadn't collapsed. You would have jumped on top of a dresser, and they would have had some laughs, a good time. Kaine and Emil might have jumped in. There's cut content for you right there. Sit on that a bit longer, Givergumo. I think that might be one of those like things I want to hear about at the end of the game, but I am going to be interested in that.
Oh. Is that?
Vice, that's it! We found the lantern.
About time. Might I suggest you cease the celebratory fanfare and light the blasted thing already? Oh dear. Look at the bodies. They are all people from town. And, I fear, the missing ferryman.
Oh no. This can't be real. Why? Why did everyone have to... God damn it!
Pull yourself together, lad. Remember the presence Kaine sensed. The culprit who murdered these poor folk likely awaits us further within.
I won't let them get away with this.
That's enough, lad. Avert your eyes.
Alright, let's head back up. Still grisly even on the second run. Why did things turn out like this? Did he leave because of this body? I just want to be able to talk with him. I don't want him to be afraid of me. I don't want him to hate me. I want to maintain a human form. I want to look at the sun with my own eyes. I want to sing beautiful songs. So if I can just eat more people, maybe then I can become a human. Oh, well that's interesting.
Hey there, you two.
Hey, I didn't know you guys came back inside.
Did we ever? Found a nice hole in the wall to slide through. But then we heard a bunch of noise coming from that super dark floor downstairs. You sure had us worried.
Yeah, sorry about that. You feeling better, Kaine?
A little, yeah. Sorry for the trouble.
Good. That's good.
Jeez, you seem really down in the dumps. Did something happen?
Tell me, Kaine, that presence you sensed.
It's on the floor above us.
I feared as much. It seems we've little choice but to press onward.
You are what you eat. That's taking it way too literally.
There's a bunch of crumpled up paper here. Letters, maybe?
They all seem to have the same words written upon them, but the penmanship is so poor I cannot make heads nor tails of it.
Alright, nothing else in here. Oh, that must have been her practicing how to write.
Oh man, that smell is getting ripe. How you feeling there, Sunshine?
Not great. Can't you tell?
Yeah, we didn't know what those letters were last time, but now I think we do. Alright, we got a save point here. Let's go ahead and save. And in we go.
This would be the final room, yes? The culprit who murdered the townspeople may be behind this very door. Let us proceed with utmost caution.
We're doing it.
It's that girl we saw when we first entered the ship.
Old lad, this is a lone child sitting inside a hulking ship littered with corpses. Something is clearly amiss.
There.
Oh man, this shade is nuts! I think I'm in love. You can feel her power hanging in the air, and she ain't even trying yet. Things are finally heating up. Huh?
Could this girl be the presence you sensed, Kaine?
Oh, hey, it's you. Been a while.
Hey, postman.
Wait, you're the postman. What are you doing here?
Oh, I've been coming here a lot lately. I think this girl was on the ship when it drifted in. I've been keeping an eye on her until she's well enough to leave. Hey, so this is kind of awkward, but... the girl is, you know, bleeding? I brought a bunch of bandages with me, but, well, how exactly does one deal with a woman's time of the month?
He asked this before, and now we know why he's asking this is because he didn't realize that the blood on the floor is from the murders.
Sorry. Clearly crossed a line there. Forget I said anything.
Stay the hell away from her! She isn't...
No, wait!
Kaine! Camille!
We'll figure something out. You just find a way to get the hell out of here.
The two of them will be fine, but you and I must withdraw.
Let's do it.
The ship is collapsing. We must leave at once.
I always love hearing a Wilhelm scream share. That makes me so happy.
Very much aware of that, thanks. Look! Shades! Damn it, they're in the way!
Oh, jeez.
Looks like we can get out through that hole up there.
It's always just a cute little Easter egg whenever they include the Wilhelm scream in anything.
Glad you two made it out in one piece.
Yeah, we're good. But that poor postman is still trapped inside.
We'd better go help him out.
No shade would dare pursue us into sunlight such as this. We should use the opportunity to ready ourselves. What on earth?
Why isn't this shade being hurt by the sun?
That is not precisely the case. It most certainly is being burned by the sunlight. However, its regenerative abilities far outpace whatever damage the light is able to inflict. This light, something is coming. Get out of the way at once!
Oh, listen! It's singing! This thing actually thinks it's a person!
didn't matter how many people I ate. I was never satisfied.
I don't know where the singing lessons came from, but I do know it's sure as hell trying to eat us.
Go! Aim for the tentacles with faces on them!
Don't stop now. Focus on the next one.
Nobody ever helped me. He's the only one who was ever kind to me. He taught me what kindness is. I will become a hero. We'll speak the same language. And we'll stay together.
You're doing it for him? How sad. How precious.
Come on. Dodge through. Oh, got one hit. Oh! Forgot about this phase. What are we doing? Oh, jeez! Look at that. Now what are we doing? Second one. Start stabbing. Go.
Now is our chance. Attack with all that you have. Did we get it?
We just made it mad!
Oh, hell. That thing's huge.
Oh, this is for him.
To think it could recover from such a grievous wound.
Ordinary attacks aren't gonna do shit against this thing.
Hey, the guy from before's collapsed on the beach. That Shade's got some kind of hard-on for him. We should take him hostage.
Shut your yap. I'm not in the business of using my blades on people.
Is this thing turning its body into spears and shooting them at us?
Yes. Kind of tanking through here. Which is not a wise strategy, but it's what I'm doing.
Fine then. I guess we'll all just sit around a campfire and sing songs until we get murdered.
God damn it!
I notice it keeps healing. That's not great. It's just recovering from any damage I'm doing to it. Yep, see, it just healed entirely.
The number of spears flying our way is increasing.
Yeah, I can see that. Damn it.
My word! If this continues...
Hey, over here! This guy's important to you, isn't he?
This ends here and now. Son of a... Is this thing immortal?
How can it withstand such an onslaught?
I'm really scared, guys!
We will be in grave danger if it unleashes that attack. We must stop it.
Oh, that's not fair. So it's actually not possible to beat that clock there. That's interesting. Because we got it all the way to the end and then suddenly it stopped taking damage.
I think we're in trouble.
What the hell are you doing? Stop him already!
My body won't... Damn it!
Fuck!
Stop! No!
Don't be scared. No. Become human, and then we'll be able to...
What are you doing? You're gonna get yourself killed! Stop! Don't hurt these people!
Don't you want them to see together?
So you've been lying to me this whole time?
He's kind of talking English, that's creepy.
You're a monster! It stopped.
Focus on the source of its magic. Aim for the head.
Summoning the last of your magic power, you can now press left bumper to fire Dark Lance. Come on. Come on, get up there. Come on. Come on, aim. Get up there. Come on. Come on. Almost.
We can never be together! You disgust me!
It's interesting because we actually saw her speaking the first time through that sequence, but of course we couldn't understand her that time. 1 week later.
Thanks. You really saved our bacon.
You've all done so much for me. Offering a little refuge is the least I can do. I don't have the words to express how sorry I am. We all knew townspeople were out there being eaten by a shade, but I never imagined I was taking care of it this entire time.
The fault lies with that foul creature alone, Postman, not yourself.
I hope I can believe that someday.
All right, well, we'd better get going. There's someone else we need to break this news to.
Fair enough. I hope to see you out there on the old letter trail again soon.
Alright, let me see. Let me get caught up. Nano, I hope you have a good sleep. Thanks for hanging around with us, Nano. We'll see you around. And Shira, good luck with Necromunda. I hope you have a good time with that. I've never actually played the physical version of Necromunda. I hope you have a good time. I love how Emil jumps dramatically there, even though Emil can fly, so he has no real reason to jump dramatically. Rex says, welcome in. How are you doing today? Hope you're doing good. Now, who's casting full heal right there? Declare yourself. Kiss, welcome in. Glad to have you with us. Hope you are doing well. Rin! Oh god, now I'm gonna have that stuck in my head all day.
Hey, did you find my husband?
Yeah. The thing is...
Wait, why are you hesitating? Is he alright? Please tell me he's alright. Come on, say something already.
Your husband was killed by a shade. I'm sorry. We tracked him down, but it was already too late.
No, it can't be true. That big idiot, always carrying his bag around, thinking about me all the time. Oh god, this can't be happening.
It saddens this old tone to think we'll never hear those two at each other's throats again.
If only I'd gotten to him sooner. Damn it.
Do not let it burden you so, lad. You did the best you were able.
How do you like them apples, lady? Oh god! And yeah, Rin, you were lying in wait that whole time, waiting to spring the trap, and you did. You did spring that trap. I'm impressed. Alright. I understand she's sad, but that marriage did not seem like it was a happy one. You know, maybe long term this works out for her. Who knows? There goes the only entertainment in the whole town. And the whole town mourns, though not necessarily for the same reason. Ooh, this is new.
The hell's this, Sunshine?
A letter. That thing wrote it for the postman.
Ha! Man, that is some grade A chicken scratch.
She probably copied the letters as best she could.
So, what's it say?
I think our friend's gonna wake up soon. Let's go.
And of course she doesn't say, that's unfortunate.
Hey, Kane.
Yeah?
When you were threatening that shade on the beach the other day, how did you know it was trying to protect the postman?
Just a feeling, I guess.
Alright.
Yeah, Kiss, that's definitely a take a drink moment. She could have told us. She could have told us right there, but no, gotta keep it mysterious. Ah, well. Thank you, Rin. Appreciate it. Alright, let's ride the boar back to town. I'm assuming we get XP for Shades killed on the back of the boar, but I don't actually know that for certain. I'm hoping, though. Otherwise, it's a waste to just ram into him. Didn't manage to get any that time, though. Yeah, baby! Love that boar. Love that boar. Excellent way to run. Alright. I don't actually remember what we do after that. I know we still need to go to Facade at some point. And we still have to go back to the junkyard at some point, too. What was the other one, though? Oh, no, we have 3. Alright. So, yeah, those are the only 2 we have left to get. That's nice. So where's it sending us next? Gotta go talk to Popola? Looks like we gotta go talk to Popola. Yeah, Borby! I am so glad that I'm not the only one who, that very silly little sweary game is just embedded in your consciousness forever. I love that game. It's so good. Gives me joy. A lot of jank in there, granted. A lot of stuff that frustrated me, as with all sweary games, but still charming and memorable for the end.
Shades on the coast, the ferryman dead. You've had quite the rough trip. That poor ferryman used to tell me stories of the epic quarrels he had with his wife. He found the whole thing quite amusing. He loved her, though. He loved her with all that he was. I'm very sad to hear that he's gone. Still, you made it back safe, and I'm glad for that.
Have you any new information about the key to the Shadow Lord's castle?
I'm still working on the decryption, but I'm afraid progress has stalled. Loyal Cerberus might refer to a dog, but I've never seen anything that would fit the bill.
It must be pretty complicated if even you can't decode it. Well, you're our last hope, so please keep trying, okay?
I will. By the way, I was walking by your house earlier and I noticed you had some mail. You might want to check it out.
Thanks. I'll do that.
Lobster!
Oh, one last thing. Since the ferryman was missing work, I arranged for someone else to handle the job. I'll make sure they know to let you use the boat as before.
Gotcha.
Yeah, sweary, he's not the best game designer.
Even without those we have lost, the world relentlessly continues to turn.
But he has a ton of ambition, which I respect, and his games have a vibe that you just simply cannot get anywhere else. And that makes him and his games unique, and that I also respect. Hence why I just keep playing the things, and if he keeps making more, I'm gonna keep playing those too. Alright, so there is the notice from the King of Facade about his wedding.
The king is getting married. Does this old book good to see a boy become a man?
Probably not a good idea to turn down a wedding invitation from a king. Let's go to Facade.
Alright. Let's go ahead and save here. Alright. And folks, I think this is probably going to be where we're going to want to stop for the day. However, if we keep this pace going, it seems like Friday next week, we can probably get ending B. If we keep up the pace we're going at, I think we should be able to get ending B. Actually, no, hang on. Before we call it quits, let me take that back for a second. Before we call it quits, let's do one other thing. Because let's at least take a crack at the second level of the recycled vessel in here. Now that I'm thinking about it, let's try that. Narrow miss there, John. Narrow miss.
The diary again?
Yeah. Lately, I haven't been able to stop thinking about it.
The world of the recycled vessel.
Let's see what we can do about stage 2, see if we can get through there, because we're going to need to beat all 3 stages eventually. So let's see if we can do one of them now. Alright, door number 2. Proceed beyond this point, you will be unable to save until the battle's over. Do you want to go through the door? Sure. Not just one more thing? No, of course, that's Columbo's thing. I don't want to steal Columbo's thing. Probably trademarked. The apocalypse divided the world in 2. One that knows not day and one that has never seen the night. Interesting. Ooh. This guy hits hard. Oh, gee! Alright, so we're getting rules in here. The following actions are prohibited in this room. Magic spewing bad. Alright, so no using magic. There we go. Why am I still rolling, though? I got stuck there. That was weird. Yeah, we get Papa Nier for the recycled vessel sections, which is super weird. Black and white, 13 packs. The vessels form as waver as they cross space and time. Oh god, I'm stuck. No shit. Oh god. Hang on. I'm gonna unplug my controller and try plugging it back in. Alright, that seems to have fixed it. Good. I couldn't stop rolling. Oh, this music's awesome, though. Whoop, shoot! Whoop. Ambush! Shit! Oh, man. I got a crap load of damage here. Alright, so this one's a bit more dangerous than the last one. Noticeably so. Let's get in. We're heading through here. I'm looking for those green lights above doors. Seems to be the key of figuring out where we're going. Shit! Got him? No, didn't get him yet. Thought I had him stopped a little bit too early. There we go. I'm going to use another medicinal herb for safety. We seem to be getting plenty of them as drops, so I'm not super worried about it. There we go. This music is really awesome. I'm enjoying this. Oh, this looks like a boss room.
It seems we have been shut in.
Oh, shit! Alright, let's do another safety heal. Go! Keep stabbing towards the guys that's shooting. There we go. There we go. Going. Oh my god, there's too many blasts in here. Any more? No, we're good. Whew. Alright, we got some more medicinal herbs. Excellent. The song of man has been drowned out. In its place, the scream of something inhuman. Oh, this still looks like a boss arena. Another medicinal herb for safety. I'm gonna use magic on these guys because these guys are dangerous to approach directly. They got a teaser attack that hits pretty hard if you get too close to them. Plus they explode after you kill them. So watch out for that too. There we go. dodge through there. Oh god. So we didn't have a ton of ranged dudes to deal with in the last scenario, but this one, it seems to be mostly ranged. Just dangerous. Alright, got those guys. Oh jeez. Now we got a bunch of flyers coming in as well. See if I can keep my distance from them. Oh my god, there's so many of them. They go down pretty quickly though, so that's a good thing, but man, there's a ton. Anybody else? Nope, looks like we're good there. Whew. Let's see, how many endings are you aiming to complete, or how many endings do you know of to complete? I'm gonna try and do all of them. Like, this is why we're doing this, is I'm trying to get all the weapons, because I know you need all the weapons to get all the endings. And we're close. We're close. If we can keep this weapon, that'll mean we're only missing 2 in the entire game. So we're doing good. Doing very good in that respect. Alright, let us continue on. The sky falls with the dragon, the world ends this day. I always forget about that rolling attack. There we go. Successfully dodged. Got him, nice. Somebody else still here. Behind him. Behind him again. Come on. There we go, excellent. And once he drops his shield, I know I can do a charge attack to really hurt him, which is very nice. Beautiful, beautiful. Such close, very binary. Wow, we're doing good. I'm really pleased. I honestly thought it would be significantly harder than this, and I'm really glad it's not. Alright, now we got multiple of them, so now we actually get to change tactics a little bit. Gotta do what we used to do for these guys, which is knock them down. Nope, knock them down and then go for the execute. Saves a lot of time and kills them very quickly. Unfortunately, when they fall down after they do this rolling attack, that doesn't count as them being down, so I can't just finish them off, which is weird. Go ahead and do a Mini-Storm, since we seem to be getting so many of those! Jesus! That was dangerous. Ooh, he's a new type. I don't recognize him. Well, he goes down to the finisher all the same. So I suppose it doesn't matter. Boom! Lovely. Go! Alright, gotta keep moving, finding the next target. Go! Works really well. Blood on the people, of course. That does sound like an excellent hype name. Alright, are we good? Is that everybody? I think we're good. Alright, what are we doing next? The puppet priest collects the accursed prayers and polishes the vessel. Alright. What are we doing here? Oh! It's a fucking rail shooter! What in the hell? Alright. Did anybody order some House of the Dead? Because we have found House of the Dead. skins versus steel? It would appear so. See, I've usually heard it as shirts versus skins. But yeah, basically, skins versus steel. I don't have nearly as much armor as those dudes. Yeah, for a second when we started this, I'm like, why am I seeing Vice hovering up there? That's why. Oops, we got bats! This is so weird! Why is this happening? There we go. Luckily that homing attack seems to take down a whole bunch. There we go. Got that guy up there. Another bat over there. Get these big guys. Versus blouses. Game blouses. One of my all-time favorite comedy sketches right there. And I've heard is a true story, as a matter of fact. Which is just magical. Do I have to shoot the boar? I was. Alright. It's a very weird section. What are we doing here, game? Oh, there's a guy down there. Got him. So strange. That's flying over there, I'm not sure why. I don't see anybody else to shoot. There might have been a guy up there, though. Yeah, Papa Nier definitely dresses down a little bit, which is interesting. Hey, Folos, welcome in. Glad to have you with us. Hope you are doing well. Oh, there we go. This just appeared, I don't know. Like, can I fail here? Nobody's actually attacked me. I'm not sure if there's a fail state here or if this is just for funsies. It'd be kind of cool if it was just for funsies, actually. The game does not often do for funsies. So that'd be kind of neat. Bats over there. See if I can get him with the homing attack. Alright. Obtained the samurai outfit. You earned 4,000 experience points. And 10,000 gold. Nice. Alright. And there's door number 3, the final of the 3 challenge levels. But we will do that another time. Right now, it's back out of there.
My word.
Something wrong?
I feel as if I've just awoken from a most unpleasant dream.
I know what you mean. That happens to me whenever I read it.
Hey Luna, hope you've been enjoying your lurk. Glad to have you with us as always. Alright, so let's head outside real quick. And the first and most important thing we're going to need to do is let me check my inventory. We're looking in two-handed weapons. And we do have the Fool's Lament. Excellent. That means we are only missing 2 weapons in the entire game. One of them is behind door number 3, and one of them I'm told we get for beating Route B. So we're in real good shape for that. Whew. Post time skip, Papa Nier puts on a big leather pauldron and doofy eye patch gimp mask thing. Well, that's weird. I suppose everyone treats loss differently. But alright, now for realsies, I think it's time to call it quits. But like I said, I think we can beat Route B probably on Friday next week. So that's pretty cool. Making some excellent progress through here. And that means that theoretically, if we keep up this pace, maybe we could beat C and D on Saturday and Sunday too. I don't want to promise that, but maybe. Either way, I think within the next 2 weeks we will be beating this game, so that's really good. Not that time for real it is this time for realsies, but I appreciate everybody joining me today. I definitely would have been struggling with all the sadness if I didn't have some company here today, so I hope you folks are doing okay, and I'm glad to experience all of this for my first time with all of you, so thank you for being here. I hope you'll be here next week as well. I'm going to need some more companionship, let me tell you that much. But of course, we have one last thing to do before we call it quits, so if you can spare a minute, I'd appreciate it, because we have to see who all else is online. So if you're not done watching Twitch or you know Palette Cleanser, hopefully we can send you somewhere cool. So make sure to hit follow first and foremost. That'll be the quickest way to find me next week or in the future. If you'd like to stop in again, I'd love to have you here. And while I'm looking to see who all is live, there are some links in chat you might want to see if you haven't seen them before. We have a link to my Twitter if you'd like to get notified about the stream that way. We have a link to my YouTube if you want to see any of the games I've played in the past, or if you just want to get caught up with this game, which all the videos will be going up there. And we have a link to my Discord if you'd like to chat with the community outside of the stream. Everybody is welcome in there, so feel free to join us. Alright, let's see. We got a couple options today. And the one I was going to choose just went offline. That was a narrowly avoided problem there. So, let's go over here then. A fantastic streamer who I have not rated in a little while, and this is probably where I'd be heading anyway. So I hope you will join us. I would love to have you all hang out with me a little bit after this, as we go raid none other than Trinetta LaRue. You've probably seen her around the stream. She likes stopping by here, which I appreciate. She is another very cool retro streamer, including she's trying to do 100% all of the main series Final Fantasies, which is very cool. But today, she's actually doing a cooking stream. She is a trained pastries chef. So I'll hopefully be picking up some tips you might want to as well, and just hanging out and chatting about retro stuff and RPGs. That should be cool. So why don't you join me over there, say hi to Trinetta, hang out for a little bit, throw her a follow if you like what she's doing. But hey, if you've got other things to do, I will just say as I always do. Have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're at in the world. I will see you folks next week for some more Nier Replicant. Take care of yourselves till then, everybody.